Tell me with the Dr. Pepper. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
All right. So this is my opinion, all right? So you know the LGBTQ, right? I'm assuming you know what that is.
No,
So
please
I,
inform me what that is.
it's a fucking, I think it's a cult. I think it's
A
an
cult?
organization where they're trying to shove the fucking all that gay stuff into people's faces and deep in their fucking throats. But
How so?
but hold on, listen to me,
Like,
watch.
what type
So
of,
watch.
what do you mean gay stuff? What type of gay stuff?
All right. So you know what gay is, you know what all that shit is. You don't have to play a smartass or anything
No, no, I'm just
to be
asking
asking me
you
those
to
questions.
clarify your view.
Okay, obviously being gay is when a fucking man likes another man. A lesbian is where a fucking
No,
girl
no, no.
likes
I
another
know
girl.
what being gay is,
Yeah,
right?
so that's exactly what you asked me, so I'm
I was
answering you that
asking
question,
you
right?
what's being, you think that people are saying you should be gay?
No, 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 no. You see, because
Okay.
you're not letting me talk, right?
I'm just trying
So
to
watch.
clarify the view. You can talk, go for it.
All right. So I personally think that the LGBTQ plus community or the alphabet community, whatever it is, I strongly disagree of that organization, right? I don't like it. Now, people that wanna
What
be,
organization?
bro, just you said you're gonna let me talk.
No, no, I just want to clarify. Sorry. Like, I'm just asking
Well,
what
it's a
organization.
group. It's a group. It's an organization that they made, right? Why do you think? Why did they make Pride flag? Why is your heart the colors like that? Why'd you put the colors on there? Because it's part of the LGBTQ. That's what the
Yeah, it's
organization
a
is.
community. It's not an organization.
It's an organization. Or right, it's fine. You could call it like the community. That's fine. In your
Well,
words, you could
community
call
is
it.
different than organization. Like, for example,
Right.
right? I grew up in a community that wasn't an organization, though.
So
Like
you grew up in a
my street, the
so
community I grew up in, my street, that was definitely not an organization.
so you grew up in a community full of gay people and lesbians.
No, I grew up in conservative Christian Iowa.
Right. So it's not a freaking town or a city that they're just born there and they're fucking automatically gay or
No,
lesbian.
no, it's the LGBTQ community, right? There's no organization.
It's an organization,
Okay.
and that's
What do you
gay.
mean by organization?
Bro, just quit being a fucking smartass, dude.
I,
Like use
am
fucking
literally just
common sense,
asking you
bro.
to. I'm asking you to clarify what you mean. And apparently, that's being a smartass.
Well,
I'm
bro, because you're
actually confused.
fucking
Yeah, like I'm literally just trying to clarify the view, dude.
right. I'm right, you're being a smartass, but I'm just gonna get off, right?
Dude, what did I do? I'm
Because
literally
you're,
just.
because you're not fucking letting me talk, dog. But it's fine, dude.
Do you
Like,
want me to mute? I'll mute up completely. I was just trying to understand what you're saying.
well, because look, watch. I was gonna fucking kind of defend you in a way, but like now you're just being a dick. Like you didn't let me talk, right? I'm assuming you muted already, and I'm sure you want to let me talk, but are you gonna let me like say what I want to say, or are you just gonna fucking just keep interrupting me? You could have mute and answer if you want. All right, I'm good. All right. So the LGBTQ, that freaking I guess community, I don't respect. I don't like because everywhere I go, I always see fucking flies and shit. So what is that? All right. They have that shit in elementary classrooms. They're basically teaching kids that the same sex could have fucking sexual encounters with each other and could be with each other. All right. I don't agree with that. There's kids in China that are fucking learning how to do fucking algebra in fucking like kindergarten. Like this fucking country is so fucked up and they need to find like the word of the gospel. They need to read the Bible, you know, and I'm not gonna sit here and say everybody has to be Christian or everybody has to be Catholic. No, that's not what I'm gonna do. But I am recommending people to freaking do that shit. All right. And I'm in the military. All right. So like I see a bunch of shit. All right. I hang out with a bunch of gay people and whatever, but they're cool and they're never fucking shoving that shit down my throat. My buddy next to me, I'm in the infantry, right? I'm gonna be front lines. Give me like 3 seconds and like you'll say what you have to say, right? My buddy is gay, right? And he's like I love him to death, all right? Like we're gonna be in combat, we're gonna be fucking dying for each other. And I'm gonna save his ass if he gets shot. But he's not out here fucking carrying a pride flag, shoving that shit down my fucking throat that he's all this shit. And whoever said military is special, of course it isn't. It's not special. But at the same time, like, bro, y'all just need to stop shoving that shit down our throat. Why does everybody have to fucking evolve around you guys? Why do we have to adapt to you guys? We shouldn't have to. People used to be gay without having this like LGBTQ community, whatever it is, like the pride flag and stuff. We didn't have that back then, and people were just chill as fuck. Nobody would fuck with you guys, and then there was no hate, no nothing. People would just be them. Why do you guys have to make this LGBTQ thing a big ass thing and shove that shit down our throat? I'm cool with whoever the fuck you want to be. I'm not like I don't care. It's just the my bad. I keep saying organization. You corrected me saying this community. That community. Why do we need to respect what they say? Like, oh, I go by she when it's a grown ass man. You know how I grew up, how fucking shit is. You're a dude. You have a fucking penis. I'm gonna call you a guy. Why do I have to change? Why do I have to say that you are a woman when you're a grown ass man dressed as a fucking woman? Why do I need to involve it? Like, why do I need to change what the fuck I say in order for your own? All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I got a million points here to address. First one I'm gonna
Okay.
start with is that you said that we shouldn't be showing sexual shit to children, but children should read the Bible. Have you read the Bible? Do you know how much sexual shit is in the Bible?
There's some of it, but is it boy and
No,
boy
not
or is it girl and
some.
girl?
There's a lot of sexual shit in the Bible. Okay, so I clearly it doesn't seem like you've read your own book, right? I don't know if you're okay with showing kids the Bible. You say that they should read the Bible, and there's so much sexual shit in the Bible. I don't know why you think it's okay for the Bible, but everything else is wrong. It's okay to shove it down everyone's throat when it relates to a Bible
No, no,
or it
no.
relates to the
But what did I say
gospel,
earlier though?
right? But
What
when
did
it
I say earlier
relates to
though?
accepting people off the basis of them being in consensual adult sexual relationships,
Okay,
right?
so
Then
I
it
agree what you're
becomes an
saying.
issue.
No,
Wait,
I
hold
agree
up,
what
man.
you're saying. But what did I say earlier?
Wait, Silver. You were complaining so much about me cutting you
No,
off, dude.
the reason is
I
because
let you finish,
you're
bro.
saying the wrong thing though.
Would you like me to be able to address your points? Cause I only didn't even
But
get to one.
no, and that's fine. But you're already starting off
And
wrong.
that's fine, right? No, so
I
I mean,
clearly told you. I
would you
clearly
rather?
told you.
So you want to just cut people off, right?
All right,
After
let me ask you
literally
this quick question.
complaining so
All right,
much.
I'm asking you this question. I'm gonna shut up. Did I or did I not say that I'm not forcing everybody to be Christian or Catholic? Did I or
Oh,
did I
you
not say
never
that?
said you're forcing, but you said you should. And the funny thing is no one's saying you should be gay in schools, right? No one's even making that claim at all. All we're saying is that you should accept people who are gay, right? We already say in society that we should accept Christians, right? I'm not saying we should. Like, what if I made a claim that it was wrong to be Christian, right? Like, well, I mean, actually, technically, I do believe it's wrong, but like not in a moral sense.
Okay, so that was one of your points. What's your other point?
Oh, okay.
You
Okay,
said you
we
were getting
also
to.
apparently if we see flags everywhere, that's like reason to believe that it's wrong. Well, everywhere I go, I see the American flag, right? Therefore, I think America is bad or America is wrong. Representing
Okay,
America, like being a patriot.
okay, and then what's your third one?
Um, okay, we can also relate to you said that like people were going through no hate prior who are gay. It's like clearly false, right? The whole reason why there is pride events, right, and the reason why there is this push for acceptance was was based upon a response to hate, right? To bring about acceptance. There would be no reason to argue acceptance for this group of people in this community, right, and not for others, right, in a particular conversation. Well, I mean, we are still advocating for others, right, but like specifically specify this particularly if it wasn't the case that there wasn't discrimination and hatred towards a particular community, right,
Okay,
like clearly. Also, right, when it relates to trans women, right, clearly under the definition, if you define woman as an adult human person, appreciate the handout, thank you so much, that is committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex, under that definition, trans women fit within that definition, right? So you can just say that you disagree with the way that they're using the terms, but there's nothing incoherent, there's nothing wrong with the way that they're referencing it, right? You're just being like annoying or mean, right? Like the same way if someone
okay,
were just to say your name was like a different name than what you want to be called, right?
okay. So if a dude, right, dressed as a woman saying that he's trans, right, and he
It's
tells me
what do you mean
that
by dude?
if a male dresses as a woman, I don't know what's the difference between
Is a
male
woman, right,
transgender,
is committed towards the social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female
right?
sex.
A guy with a
Appreciate the hand
penis
art.
that
How
identifies
mustache.
as a female, right? And they say like, oh look, I'm a female, but we know damn right it's a male.
That's not the claim, right? It's not a claim that. Thank you. I appreciate the coral. Thank you so much. Like trans women are not making the claim that they're biologically female.
Well, all the ones that I've ran into, they always say that.
Who said they're biologically female as a trans woman?
I went to Walmart. Like it's a bunch of places, dude. It's a bunch of places.
There
They
can
they,
be.
they
I
keep
appreciate the
saying
little
it.
crown. Thank you so much. There
So
can be a
like what you said
social
earlier, like
sense of
so
female.
that makes sense. So that I agree with you, right? So like I can't really fucking can't remember what you said. But can you repeat what you said earlier
Okay.
about when I talked about um like how they say that they're a female when they're not?
Yeah, so again, the claim is not, right, a trans woman is biologically female, right, in this sense. The claim here is that, right, a trans woman is an individual in which is biologically male, right, but is committed towards this social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex, right? So they have a desire to be in accordance with these characteristics. It's not just expressing those characteristics, right? If I were just to go put on a dress, appreciate the mic check, thank you so much. That's not going to make me a woman because I'm not committed, right? Right, I don't have a desire to be in accordance with these characteristics in terms of some sort of identity, right, prescription.
Okay, so that I agree with you. But why is it that when I had this experience with this person that said it was a female when I know it was a male, and they just kept saying that no, I am a woman. Like no, I could give birth. No, I could do this. No, I could have my periods. And it's just like no, you can't because you're a biologic. You're a guy. Like you have a penis. You don't have a cervix. You
I
don't have
don't know
any
who you were
ovaries.
talking to that's saying that they could give birth, right? I don't
Well, I
know
don't
who
know.
you're talking about.
Maybe they were wrong at that point because like it's common sense. Like if you have a penis,
I mean,
like
did you like
you
pull
are
down their
you.
pants?
No, but it's fucking
Then why are you
obvious
saying they have that? How do you know?
because it's fucking obvious. Like
How is it
it's
obvious?
obvious, bro. Just use
Did
common
you like
sense.
look?
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
if it's
look, but it's fucking
obvious,
obvious. When they
how is
say
how
they're trans, then it's obviously they're fucking something they're not. Like it obviously makes sense that they transitioned into something they're not.
well, oh wait, what do you mean transition to something they're not? So this is when you're assuming your own definition of the term, right? So like when someone is
Right.
saying
So
they're
can you
trans, it
tell me the
doesn't
definition
necessarily
of
refer to,
transition?
hold up, Silver. Trans doesn't necessarily refer to a transition, right? Trans in of itself just refers to the incongruence between one's gender and one's sex, right? In terms of, right, say someone being biologically like male, right? And then like a woman, or biologically female and being a man, right?
Okay. So what's the difference between gender and sex?
Yeah, so sex is going to relate to biological characteristics like the size of your gametes, like your chromosomes, genitalia, right? Things like that, generally speaking, right? Whereas when it relates to gender, that's going to relate to your commitments, right? Your identity, right? Things like that, right? Again, expression is
So
linked
gender
within
is
that.
identity and sex is what
Identity
like
and
what you were
expression.
born.
Then sex is biological.
All right. So do you have another point, or was that all that you caught?
Yeah, so like I appreciate the good afternoon. Thank you so much. So just saying accepting gay people, what's wrong with that?
No, I accept people that are
No,
whatever
just
they
like
want to
saying that in
be.
schools, like we should accept gay people, right?
Oh yeah,
Is that a bad thing?
so that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying don't accept them. I'm not saying have hatred towards them. Like I don't hate people that are gay or lesbian or whatever. I don't care. I just don't like your community. I don't like the flag
I'm not gay.
or that flag. I don't appreciate that organization or community, whatever the hell it is. I don't like that
Well, why
flag
not? Why not?
because
What's wrong with the flag? You just don't like rainbows? Like, what's wrong?
I like rainbows, but I don't like when you guys use it in that way
Well, why not? What's wrong?
because it's so like it's fucking everywhere. Like it's so
It's
annoying.
literally not everywhere, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. What
It's
state
all
do you
over
live
the
in,
goddamn
bro?
US. I'm in Kentucky right now.
You do not see that in Kentucky, bro. Get a grip,
How
dude.
much you want to bet? How much you want to bet?
Bro, you probably saw one flag and you're freaking out, bro. Get a grip. You see more flags of the American flag, than you see LGBTQ flags for sure. Get a grip, dude. Kentucky, dude. Come on. I live in Los Angeles and I don't even see like rainbows. Like,
All right. Well, I'm gonna get off. I appreciate the time. I'm not gonna say I stood here
appreciate a little ground.
corrected.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. Maybe I learned something. Who knows? Maybe I'll look at it in a different way.
What's one thing you learned?
I didn't really learn anything, to be honest. I still have my strong
Yeah, so
opinions to
you
myself.
just you were just
But
capping,
but but
right?
who knows?
You
But
know,
who
lying is a
knows? But
sin,
who
Silver.
knows?
You know, lying
But
is
who
a sin,
knows?
Silver.
I was just being polite.
Appreciate the cat. Thank you so much.
But
Well, I
look, I
mean,
will say this. Look,
is it
I
polite
will.
to sin to God? You were not trying to be polite to God. You were putting being polite to me over being polite to God. That's wild.
I guess. I guess you're right about that.
Fuck, dude.
All right. But I'm gonna get off though. I appreciate your time. But I will have you and everybody
Appreciate it, bro.
else in this world in my blessings, no matter what.
Sure, sure, sure.
All right. Thank you.
All right, everyone, if you disagree, send a guest request right now. Please only send a guest request if you disagree. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 100,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, share the live. Copy link. You can help send it to a few friends. Right. By the way, we're on the second account tomorrow. We should be back on the main account. Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much, Coca. We're gonna be on the main account again tomorrow, everyone. So again, we'll be back on the main account tomorrow. Let me go on to the next person now. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. Yeah, I appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you so much. I disagree. Let me in. Well, there's like 18 something guest request, 19 requests. So I'm gonna try to get to as many people as I possibly can. We'll see if we can. We'll see if we can. I just randomly select. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, I'm 43.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
Well, let me start off on the basis of my faith. I'm a Christian, and before becoming a Christian, I was a Muslim. So I always believed in a God and a higher power. I don't know. I haven't never really seen your lives before. Do you believe in a God, or is this something you don't believe in?
No.
No? Okay. So when you ask me a question, because I was just intrigued by the question, right? And I think it's an honest question. Why is being gay wrong? So I base morality, of course, on a standard of morality made by what I believe a creator, right? So your morality and my morality at this point would be different if you don't believe in a creator, because you're not under the authority of a creator, right? So you become your own, I guess, moral authority, right? You're going by your mind. What you think is right would be right, and what you think is wrong would be wrong.
Yeah. So, like, what would be the
Mhm.
reason why we would accept the idea that there's some sort of God as to why we would say that being gay is wrong or immoral because of this God existing?
Okay. So the question of, whether there's a God or not is foundational if we were to go forward with the conversation, of course. And the reason it's foundational is for the reason that I said before of morality. So, you have eyes, right? You have ears, you can hear. You have love, you can give love to other people. And one thing that I always base life upon is we can't have something, right? Or sorry, we can't give something to somebody else that we don't already have. Example, I'm married, I have children. I love them, of course, right? And I extend my love from my heart, but that love had to have been implanted in me from something else, or I couldn't give it. The same way in the physical realm here, if I were to ask you for, $1 million, if you don't have it, you can't give it to me, and vice versa. So your eyesight, your ears, the way it's written in scripture is, don't you think that the God who gave you your eyes can't see, or the God that gave you your ears can't hear? I don't believe it's coincidence. And based on that, I would go to this God and I would look at his morality. And his morality says that there are certain actions, whether it's being gay, whether it's lying, whether it's committing adultery, that these things are actually wrong in of itself because it counteracts his morality or his holiness. And based on that, it's also written that he is a God of life, right? And I'm not against love. We have to understand that love produces life. meaning, man and woman obviously make a baby. So if there's a God of life, there's also a God of reproduction. And it's just that being gay, you can't reproduce, right? You can't reproduce life. And that's the purpose of life. That's the purpose that God created us, was so that we may actually have a community and love people. But I'm going to stop in 1 second. I see your hand. That we would be able to have that community, but love has restrictions on it so that we keep it holy, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, so when it relates to reproduction, right, would you say that, say, someone knows that someone's infertile, right? If they're fertile themselves, they shouldn't marry that person?
No, I wouldn't say that, because I do believe that some people are actually okay to be alone and not reproduce, and that's good. That's their choice. We do live. I know you don't believe maybe the concept of sin, but we do
I don't
live.
think you heard my question correctly.
Mhm.
I said that like a person who's fertile, they're saying whether or not they should get married to someone who's infertile, right?
Okay.
They love this person, right? But they're infertile. Is it a sin for them to get married to this person,
Okay.
right?
Is this in the context of man and woman still?
Hmm.
Yeah. No, it would not be wrong. Of course not. And the
But it
reason
doesn't lead to
is
reproduction.
it does not. But there's also the fact that we do live in a fallen world, by my worldview, and in a fallen world, sometimes people unfortunately, have reproduction issues. But that does not negate the fact that they're still what they are, right? They still have that gender.
Yeah, so it's about the
But,
gender. It's not about the reproduction.
well, it's about the sex, right? Because I know that you would believe that gender is in the mind and then the sex is
Oh
on
yeah,
the.
but I mean, I know how you're using the term. Christian, I appreciate
Okay.
the Venmo. Thank you so much. You're using it in terms of sex, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So, yeah. So like, that's what I was referring to in that sense.
Okay. So on that stance, like when you asked, why is being gay wrong? Well, then, I don't even like to stick on that, because we can go, well, why is lying wrong, right? Well, it's simple, because if we lie, if we're supposed to love people, well, then if I would lie to someone that I love, it wouldn't be love.
Well, I mean, you could lie to someone in a joke that you love.
In a joke?
Yeah, in a jokingly manner.
Yeah, well, that's different, man. It's not it's not, how can I say, intentionally done for deceit,
Well,
right?
you
It's
could
not.
intentionally do something for deceit, and I wouldn't see it to be bad. Like, for example, right?
Mhm.
You could let your significant other like win in a sports game and
Mhm.
think that they won for a really long time,
Mhm.
right? As a joke, right? And I don't see anything wrong with that. And you
Um.
technically deceived them and deceived them in that scenario.
Well, I don't know what word or how I would label that, because I have two children and I remember playing basketball with them, and yeah, sometimes I let them win so they'd feel good and confident, right? So I don't see that as a
You wait, so you were sinning,
lie.
bro.
So I don't believe that that's sin. I believe that that's actually a
Well,
form of love, right? It's like,
um,
well, I mean, it's like, if I look in the Bible, I know you may not know much of that, but I remember at one point there was this man, Jacob, and he was wrestling with God. And then it said, well, I'm going to call you Israel now because you've prevailed against God. It's not that he actually beat God, but God allowed him to win for his purposes. So again, it was love, right?
I don't know. Well, I definitely is lying. Like, or deceit, or whatever you want to refer to it. I definitely believe it is.
Okay, I don't believe it's deceit, because it's actually not harming anyone. It's actually building somebody up in that context. There may be a word for it, there may not, I'm not
Okay,
sure.
so I mean, well, technically, right? Then you're saying that like saying that that Santa Claus is real is not deceitful or lying, right? It's
That is deceitful. The reason
wait, but
being,
it's not bad for them.
it is bad because when you're speaking upon someone's faith like that, right? When someone is so young and you're playing upon their morality or their perception of what reality actually is, you're playing on their faith. So if you're going to say that there's someone that lives, in the sky, and then he's going to come down and give you gifts, and if you're good or bad, that's actually playing on their emotions, because at one point, guess what? The truth will come out, and I've seen it before with many children. They get hurt and they're deceived by that, or they feel broken by that, because their hope has been broken, because their faith was placed in the wrong place. And that's different than a dad playing basketball and allowing their kid to win sometimes, so they don't always feel discouraged.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna tell you what everyone else like kind of who like probably disagrees with you thought in their head like that just like honestly like you could have just like replaced the same things for religion, right? In relation to Santa there, because like I mean if it's fundamentally based upon faith,
Mhm.
right? There's really no distinction between those two.
Well,
Appreciate
there's a
the
good.
crown. Thank you so much. In terms of believing one versus the other, in terms of a knowledge claim.
Yeah, well, of course, there's a big difference in one because again, we go back to the foundation of our conversation of, where did you get your eyes? Where did you get your ears, right? Even in the Word of God, it says that the invisible things of Him are clearly seen by the things that are created.
We can
So,
easily explain that like with like evolution, or you can naturalistically explain that.
no, even Darwin didn't believe in his own theory. You know that, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of
I clearly we have very good evidence to indicate that evolution is true, right?
have you ever heard of irreducible complexity?
Yeah, I have heard of the term. Yeah,
Okay. So, do you know what that means?
not necessarily
No?
completely, but
Okay.
I've heard of the term.
So, okay, cool.
Well,
So
how do you refer to it?
I'll try to explain it as best as I can. It's something cannot evolve until another major component is already in play to evolve. Example. So just say we came out of a swamp. All right. What was created first? Was it the lungs or was it the nose? And if it was the nose, well then how did we breathe outside of the water without the lungs? And if it was the lungs, and if it's taking many
This is
years
going
to
to
get.
infinitely regress
Mhm.
to God, right? You say, right? But I mean, you could say the same thing with God's characteristics.
Not at all, because it's a right away spoken into existence versus a slow progression of evolution.
What do you
So,
mean right away
example.
spoken into an existence, right? Like you understand I'm talking about God's properties there,
Okay, so what
right?
do you
Like
mean by
God's
that?
properties for his existence, right? They had to have some process to lead to that, right?
Oh, for God's existence. Okay, because I
Yeah.
believe that he's eternal and
Okay,
he's an
well, can't you
uncreated
just say
creator.
that there's an aspect of the natural world that would have been eternal, right? That explains the rest of the natural world?
No, I don't believe so because the natural world came into play at one moment in time, and before it was not here.
No. That aspect was eternal. You could just say that that prior state of fundamental particles was eternal.
I'm not following what you mean, brother.
So in the same way you say that a prior state of God is eternal to the universe, you can say a prior state of fundamental particles is eternal, right? And those fundamental particles also have the necessary properties to explain this reality comparative to another one. In the same way that God brings about this reality rather than a reality with slime or a reality with Ben 10 or a reality with SpongeBob and Patrick or marbles.
Okay, no, I'm not really understanding what you're saying because my mind is
Okay,
very fixed
there's an
on.
infinite set of desires that God could have chose from in terms of creating realities. But God, out of the infinite set of desires, randomly chose to create this reality rather than any of the other infinite realities.
Okay, yes, because we were made in his image. So it makes sense that he would
Yeah,
create
but him
after his
having
own
that
image.
desire to create within the context of of his
Mhm.
image within this particular manner, right,
Mhm.
is exactly what I mean. It's a random desire.
It's not a random desire.
It is a
Why
random
would it be?
desire.
Why would it be a random? Because in the Word of God, it says that God, by foundation, he is the one who encompasses all love because by nature he is true love, and he wanted us to share in that love with him for eternity. So it's not a
Yeah, no,
random
that the
desire.
want is random. Appreciate the orange. Thank you so much.
The law is random.
Yeah, no, the want is random.
The
The
want.
fact that God wanted that, right? Where did
Mhm.
that come from?
Well, because he is love,
You're
and
gonna say it's unexplained, right?
of course not, because God is love. That's the answer.
Well,
If
no.
God is
Okay, so
love,
how do you know that God is love?
because I've experienced him and people have experienced him
So
throughout
it's
the
a knowledge
centuries.
claim, right? But I'm asking, right, like, what gave God this quality? Where did it come from?
But that's my point, is that it was always with him. He is the
It,
uncreated creator. He
yeah,
was never created. He
it just
always
is
is.
God, right? So
Yes.
that's like a necessary property. Could you know what? If I wanted, I could just say this, right? The fundamental particles are love, all right? Like,
Well,
I can posit the same thing.
you can't really, because now when you're talking about particles, you're not talking about a person. But when we speak about God, we speak about a person, and a person has a will, a person has a want, and a person has emotions and a mind, and it goes on and on. But particles do not have those functions, right? They're void of emotion.
Well, I mean, so are I mean, I could say the same thing about like God, right? As God, we don't observe anything that's I mean, non-biological, right? To have emotion. Okay. Emotion is something that's specific to things that are biological. Okay. So unless you're saying that God is biological, right? Then I don't think you have a reason to say that he would have emotion then.
Well, in the Word of God, it says that God is spirit and He is truth. And at the same time, when we were created in His image, we have an eternal soul, and our bodies are simply to manifest our emotions, or to manifest all of these things that God has given us inside. So when we're manifesting love, that is from God. When we're manifesting anything, that comes from God first and foremost. That is deposited in us, because every man has a bit of
So
God.
now you're saying something that's not like biological has the ability to express emotion, right? So in the same way that you're saying that God has the ability to express emotion, you could say the exact same thing about the fundamental particles, right? There's really no issue logically speaking with that, right? But I don't need to do that to still explain why we exist, right? In that sort of sense, in terms of comparing these different explanations.
Okay, but if you're going to explain that you came from particles, then you have to ask yourself, does these particles have a mind? Does this particle have emotions?
No,
What
it
does
doesn't have a
intelligence?
mind. No,
Okay, so then how do you have a thinking mind? Because you came from something or
I don't. It
somebody
doesn't
else,
have
right?
to have a mind, right? For me to have a mind, right?
Well, it
Like
definitely does.
for example, right?
Mhm.
I could create a simulation of a reptile, right? It can have characteristics that I don't have.
No, that was my whole point from the beginning, is that
Wait,
you
when I
came.
make a diamond axe, okay? Am I making it with characteristics that I have?
No, but what you're
Right? Yeah,
doing
I'm
is
using my characteristics, but it
Mhm.
doesn't have anything a part of me.
It does not have anything a part of you, but you have the ability to do so, right?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
same thing,
because
right?
it's
So God
yeah.
doesn't have to have like an eye
Mhm.
or have a
Mhm.
brain to give us a brain.
Of course he does.
Okay, so
He
God is
also has.
biology.
Well, he did manifest himself in a body, right, on the earth through
No,
Jesus
prior to
Christ.
that point.
But even prior to
Does
that
God have
point,
biology?
before that point, there is, as in the Bible speaks, when Paul is writing, he says that there is an earthly body and there's also a heavenly body. And I've never
So he
seen
does have biology.
well, I've never seen a heavenly body, but I would assume that there's some type of biology, because if there is an earthly body and then there's a heavenly body, well,
Where did that biology come
that's
from?
that's substance, right?
Where did that biology come from?
Again, the uncreated creator, he's always been there.
Well, isn't that just special pleading? I mean,
No,
if you're
it's
saying
not.
that everything
It's
that everything that exists requires a creator, right? That would be
well,
special pleading.
well, that would make sense, because even in the theory of evolution, I mean, it goes even further, right? You would believe that nothing created everything, and I'm saying that
No,
God created
that's
everything.
not the view, right? That's not the
Okay,
view.
so
All right,
do
I'm
you
literally
believe?
wait, build on truth. I'm literally describing you to a view of fundamental particles, which is something. Okay, so for you to literally describe it as nothing, you know, is a straw man, and you know it's disingenuous, dude. Why are you arguing that? That's like me saying that you're talking about Sky Daddy, bro. Get a grip.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning for the with the evolution theory, as I understand, that there was a Big Bang, right?
Okay, appreciate
Okay.
the superpower. Thank you so much.
So if there was a Big Bang, where did it come from?
We said this prior state of fundamental particles in which is eternal.
Okay, and where did those particles come from?
They
You
always
see, so
existed. Again, they're eternal.
okay,
In the same
so
way God always existed.
so if they always existed and they're always eternal, but has no mind, has no eyes, has no ears, then it cannot give you what you have today. That's my point, brother.
I dispute that. I don't think that's accurate. Right? The same way that when I make an axe, right? I don't have to have the characteristics to be able to make the axe.
But you
Right?
have to understand that
I'm
you
not
were
made of
created.
diamond.
No, but you were created in the image of the creator, and the creator creates, so you are able to
No, no,
create.
no. You made a claim that if you create something, right, then that means that you have to have
No,
that property.
no.
Right?
I
I
said
don't have this property in that scenario.
if you
Right?
give something, you have to have that ability. Okay, you're
You have to
twisting
have
it.
that ability. Sure, right.
Of
Yes,
course.
I'm arguing that these fundamental
Mhm.
particles do have that ability because they have the necessary properties to bring about this reality rather than another one, the same way that God
So,
has the necessary desires.
so then how do you have your mind today?
How do I have my mind?
How do you
Evolutionary
have your mind?
processes.
Okay. And do you believe that this all came about by accident? Is there order in this
No,
evolution
we'll say
process?
it's solely deterministic.
What do you mean by that?
It's like um there's there is one state of affairs. There's only one possible reality.
Okay, so you believe the Big Bang
We
was
can
an
just assume
explosion,
that.
right?
Yeah, explosion of,
Okay.
or not explosion, expansion of one reality.
Okay, and well, it's actually every evolutionist that I've ever spoken to before has always called it an explosion.
It's
Okay,
expansion.
because
That's a misconception with the
okay,
explosion.
so everything, whatever matter was there, but there was nothing, became like this small dot on a paper, right? And it got so small and so much energy, and then it expanded, right?
So, I mean, there's a singular point notion to that.
Hmm.
That's a hypothesis, right? I mean, you can posit other explanations, but you can just say that there was a point, right? That's just what we would observe. There could be existence outside of that context. This isn't to say that this is the only existence.
Okay, but we're talking about this existence right now and how this came to be.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I'm
Mhm.
just saying that there could be outside influential factors the same way you're saying there's outside influential factors, right? But the point is that this isn't even necessary to compare these different hypotheses. Okay, what we're trying to do is we're trying to compare a naturalistic explanation, right, to a theist explanation, right? What I'm saying is that the naturalist explanation can explain the exact same question of why we exist, right, and it would require less assumptions. Like I don't have to assume that there's a mind. I don't have to assume that there's judgment of heaven and hell. I don't have to assume that there are angels and
But
demons. I
these
don't
are
have
not
to assume that God
assumptions.
is all knowing, all powerful, and all good. I don't have to assume
Mhm.
any of those characteristics, and I can still explain the question as to why we exist. So if I'm able
You
to
can't
explain the
explain the
question as
question.
to why we exist, requiring less assumptions, right, that
Mhm.
would be more likely to be true.
But you're not actually giving an answer, because what you're doing is you're giving an explanation based on particles that has an emptiness behind it. Again, we're never going to agree on the fact that you can't tell me that you came from something that does not have the same ability that you have.
Came
It,
from
it
something that does not have the same. Yeah,
like it
again,
like, again, you can't have eyes if the thing that created you or made
we
you
just
come
went
into
over this.
existence does not have eyes.
We literally just went over this. When I make an axe, right? Does
But
the
that's not the
axe have
same
to have
thing,
the same
because
capacity as me?
but you're not making the
No.
axe in your image.
It doesn't matter whether or
It
not
does
something
matter.
was created in an image because
It does matter.
we're talking about my model, not yours.
No, but
Okay?
what we're talking about, the foundation was that God created man in his image.
No.
So
You're questioning my model. You're saying my model doesn't make sense because my prior state of fundamental particles doesn't have a mind, doesn't have eyes, doesn't have a mouth. Okay? Just because we don't have those characteristics, right, within the prior state doesn't mean it can't cause those characteristics into existence. The same way that just because just because I created an axe, that doesn't mean that I have to have those characteristics.
no, but you're not following what I'm saying. What
No,
I'm
you're
saying
not
is,
following what I'm saying. What do you dispute with what I just said?
because when you create an axe, you're creating with the ability to create, right? Meaning you have that ability, you've been given that ability to create. And what I'm saying is, you didn't create this axe in your image. You created the axe to be an axe.
Yeah, creating the acts in
Exactly.
one's image is going to be specific to your worldview and your hypothesis, not mine. So you
No,
can't
because,
use it as a critique of my hypothesis here, right? Because it's not related.
well, then you would have to explain to me, how can you trust your own processes and your own thoughts if they just came by an evolutionary process? Because you can't even trust your own thoughts. They're complete disorder.
We have
Because
no, we have the same assumption.
not at
Well,
all,
again,
because I believe.
I'm not saying that. Again, I'm not at the assumption that my perceptions here are unreliable, right? I think that we both have to assume our perceptions are reliable. Because you have to assume your perception is reliable to interpret scripture, to interpret God, to interpret your experience. So you understand that you have the same assumption that I have.
Not at all, because I put a person behind everything. And you're putting, I guess, not to be
I don't
rude,
know
but,
why
you know,
that's just an extra
well,
assumption
no,
that's
no,
unnecessary.
because, I believe in the beginning God, and you would believe in the beginning a rock.
It's not a beginning rock. I literally said particles, right?
Well, I mean, particles matter. That's what it is.
Particles are different, right? Because they have
Right.
different
And
types of properties, right?
so you believe
Um,
this expansion created
than
order,
just a
right?
rock.
Right. So what I'm saying is, an expansion that creates order, the only thing that can create order is something with an orderly mind behind that.
Why do I accept that?
Well, I mean, do you ever?
Why does it have to have an orderly mind?
Well, have you ever seen
How
any
did the mind get
particles?
ordered?
Have you ever seen a
What made the
particle?
mind ordered from disorder?
Have you ever? Well, your mind, is it orderly? You have a thought process, right? You have a
Well, why do
process
I
in your
have a
head.
thought process rather than not having a thought process?
Well, how are you talking to me
Right?
right now?
There's going to be some original point where you're going to say like, "Oh, right, it doesn't have to follow that sort of original thing. I just claimed that you had to follow." That's called special pleading then.
Well, you're having a conversation with me right now, aren't you? And you have a thought process before what comes out of your mouth. That's what a thought process is, and it's in order. You're ordering your thoughts in your heart and in your mind before it leaves your mouth.
Yeah, why am I but the point is, in order for me to order my thoughts, I myself had to have the property to order that.
And
Okay?
where did that
So
property
I'm
come
asking, that's what I'm saying, right? The
from?
same thing is applicable to your notion, right? You can say that that state came from the fundamental particles, or that state came from God, right? You can say
Well,
either or if you want.
no, you can't, because when I say it
Literally
comes from God,
can.
no, because when I say when it comes
Right,
from
but there
God,
can be order, right, within the fundamental particles because they exist eternally, and then it can produce order within the reality we exist in. There's
but
no
no, because
contradiction with that, no issue.
particles don't have a mind, brother. That's all I'm trying to
You don't
bring.
need a mind. Why do you
Of
need a
course you
mind?
do. Well, then how do you
Why?
have a mind when you come from those
Oh my
particles
gosh,
that
you
don't have
you
a
gave the
mind?
same argument we just went over that you don't
But
need.
we're going in circles because
No, because
there's a
we just answered this question, right? And you brought it up again.
no. I'm not bringing it up
You
again.
just said that you
I'm
require a
trying to
mind to
show
bring up a
you.
mind into existence.
Yeah, because you're saying
And I'm
particles
saying that
or
that's not
matter
necessary. You can
can
bring
be
about things into
ordered.
reality, right, that you didn't possess prior. Okay,
Okay,
I can bring about a rock. I mean not a rock, a
an
diamond
axe.
axe, right? That I didn't again have properties myself, right?
Again, you're bringing this up, but you didn't grasp what I said before about that being
What did I
made
not
in the
grasp,
image.
dude?
Okay,
I have addressed it every time.
no,
What did I not
God.
grasp? Tell me.
I'm going to tell you right now. God created man in His image. That's why we have His properties. When you're creating an axe, you're not creating an axe in your own image, is what I'm saying.
Oh
And
my
if
gosh, I literally gave you responses. What was my response to that? Tell me.
well, if you gave me a response, it didn't make. Not to be rude, man, it didn't make sense.
That is your assumption for your model, not for my
Oh,
model.
because so
Okay,
if I
that's
so
not
if I
applicable
give
to my
you
model. That's only applicable to
okay,
your model. My
but
model
that's not
doesn't
the
have a mind, so clearly speaking, yeah, it's
okay.
not going to be
Okay, I
creating
got
things
you.
in its own image, right?
I got you. I got you. So if I were to explain something
It's
to
a
you,
purpose.
okay, so if I were to explain something to you, which I just did now, the way that you
Yeah,
would
thank you.
get out of it is saying, oh, it's an assumption. So that's how you get out of it. I got you. So you're just avoiding it, basically.
How am I avoiding it? I literally, did
Because
you just listen to anything I just
because
said?
we both have a point of view, right? But then when my point of view,
Wait. Tell me what
oh,
I just said. Build on truth. Tell me what I just said.
that my model and your model is based on assumption.
Understand? Thank you. No, what else? What else did I say? Is that all you got from what I just said?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You just got. All I said there was that our models both have assumptions. That's all I said.
Okay.
That's all
And
I
what?
said.
Okay.
Really?
And what I'm telling you is that
There's
it's
no way. Wait, actually, come on, man. Do you think that's all I said? Because I said a lot there, right? That you didn't add in that, and you literally. It sounds like you didn't listen to it.
okay. I'm trying to grasp everything that you're saying, man. I've never heard things that you said like this before or in this manner. I'm trying to grasp it. I didn't. If you said more, man, I didn't catch it all. All I'm trying to say again is when I gave the example of man being created in God's image, and then you creating an axe but not in your own image, you said that would need an assumption that that's what I believe, and an assumption that that's what you believe. But what I'm saying is, if something is created in your image, you wouldn't create an axe because that does not define you or replicate you.
No, what you're doing is you're assuming that my model requires it to create something within the context of its own image, right? But that's
Okay.
only an assumption under your own explanation,
Okay,
not
I
my
got you.
explanation.
I got you.
Okay.
So if your model does not require that, then we come back again to the foundation that how do you have what you have if the higher power that you believe in does not
It's
have
not a
it?
higher power.
Your particles that don't have it, then it wouldn't make sense. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think that you're going
It
to
doesn't
agree
have to
to
have
that.
it. Again, what was my response to that?
I don't
Because
know.
again,
Repeat.
I gave you a response to that multiple times. When you
Hmm.
create something, you don't have to have those properties.
Well, I believe you have to have those properties. The same way that I love my children or my wife, it has to be inside of me to love. And my love shows through manifestation of this body. If I don't have love, it's never
Okay,
going to
so if I create a
manifest.
simulation, do I have to have the properties of the simulation?
No, but you have to have the mind to create that
No.
simulation.
Well, no. So you
Of
have to
course you
you don't
do.
need a mind to create it, right? I can relate to scenarios that are not caused by minds, right? Natural disasters, right? There are things caused by natural disasters, right? Like houses flying
I know, but
across
you
things.
said
That's a
about if
caused event, and
but
that's not
you
something
said
that came from a mind.
but you said something that you created. You didn't say anything about natural disasters. You said
Yeah,
something
I
you
because
created.
it wasn't necessary for me to bring that up. I said I could bring up that in response, but I
Mhm.
feel like you're just like you're hearing one or two words from what I say, and then you're just responding to that, and you're not getting the rest
Yeah,
of
I
it.
feel the same way, man.
No, I responded to everything you said.
But there's a gap, and that gap is always going to be the foundation of you can't receive something or give something that you have not first received. That's a fundamental law of life, man.
Yeah, but that's what I've disputed. You don't need to do that. You don't need to have why do you
Right.
keep making the same point? Why do you just
Okay.
keep restating the same point?
Because that's the foundation of the whole conversation. So
No,
if you
no,
say
but
that you
you
don't need
restating
it,
the same point doesn't give me any new information that I didn't prior know. It doesn't actually give me an argument.
okay.
You're just
But
restating the
but
original claim.
but your answer to it doesn't satisfy me because it doesn't make sense.
What didn't make sense about it?
It doesn't make
Well,
sense.
maybe because you didn't
Well,
listen to it.
no, because I'm going to repeat the same thing I said, and you're going to say I'm just repeating myself, brother.
Yeah, because that's all you're doing. You're not responding to anything I'm saying. You're just
Well,
repeating yourself.
because that's the answer. It's the same thing
It's not the answer.
if I tell you Jesus is the
What
truth, and you
answer?
say,
What
well,
was the answer? You
no,
didn't
no,
give me an answer. You
hold on.
restated the same claim. That's not an answer.
If I tell you Jesus is the truth, and you say
Crystal, I
he's not,
appreciate the galaxy. Thank you so much, Crystal.
if I tell you Jesus is the truth and you say he's not, I mean, the only thing that I can continue doing is tell you that he's the truth. And you disproving, not you disproving,
No,
you
I would give you
rejecting it.
reason to disprove that, right? The reason why Jesus is not the truth is because there's
Mhm.
contradictions within Jesus' nature, right? Jesus can't be all knowing, all powerful, and all good, right? Because there's going to be some sort of contradiction with reality, right? I can give you a problem of evil. Would you like to go through that?
Well, what I can do is I can give you prophecies about Jesus to show you that this was already come into play. And
The
that's the whole
self-fulfilling
point.
prophecies.
Yeah, but you can say that even though it was written down 900 years before he came on the scene.
And applied to him when he was born.
Yeah, of course, man. But you need to have the
It
eyes
was
of
literally
prophecy.
applied to him, right? Like he didn't grow up into it. It was applied to him. And this was common in his culture, right? People knew about the story. He knew about it. It was
Well, yeah,
applied to him.
a lot of people were waiting for the Messiah, of course. But we also have, anyway, we're not going to get into a theological debate because I mean we know that historical fact. Even through you've heard of the historian Josephus before, right?
Josephus, yeah, Josephus doesn't indicate resurrection.
Yeah, of course, man. But
He indicates crucifixion and Jesus' existence, which I agree with both of those.
Right, and he indicates as well miracles, right? Resurrection from
No,
the
he
dead.
doesn't.
Yeah, of course. The story of Lazarus.
No. Wait. Give me. You said the story of Lazarus from Josephus.
Lazarus.
You think that's
Well,
from Jesus?
Josephus lived at the same time as Jesus, and he saw all the miracles. Well, not all of them himself, but he's seen many of them for sure.
Wait, no. Josephus lived after.
He lived.
What are you talking about? What, dude? He did not. They did not know. I can literally show you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Josephus lived after.
I always understood he lived during that time.
Okay, well, you understood.
I could be wrong, man. Look, I could be wrong. I checked that out, but no worries. I could be wrong on that. I always understood it was at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, anyways, brother, that was my answer to you. You know, why is being gay wrong? The foundation for me is moral authority and non-life reproducing.
It was right after Jesus died.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. I'll take a look into that after. Because I have his writings, and I always read it with the assumption that it was at the same time. I thought so.
No, I don't think he would have been able to do so while he was still in the womb. Or actually not even conceived yet, my bad.
Okay. Okay, so that was my answer for you, man. So moral authority, right? About being gay or lying or whatever sin you want to look at, there's always a moral authority over us, and if you reject that moral authority and that foundation, then the
I
door
don't think that's
opens
God,
to.
right?
Well, but
So
then
do you think God is perfect?
all I'm saying is that if you do close that door on God and moral authority, then you make your own morality. And I believe,
Mhm.
and I would assume that you believe as well, that morality is not not relative, but it's absolute.
Morality is subjective.
Okay, so
I don't
you
know
see,
what you mean
I
by
don't believe
absolute, but yeah, morality is
like
subjective. I don't
absolute
hold the
truth,
principles.
like absolute truth, meaning if I murder someone, I believe it's wrong, and you would believe that that's wrong as
I believe
well.
it's wrong, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be an
It's like by
absolute truth.
definition. I don't know what you mean by absolute in that sense,
Well,
though.
that would be an
We just
absolute truth.
if absolute just means that we believe it wrong, well then yeah.
No, absolute means simply that you believe that murder is wrong, I believe it's wrong, and there's no other answer to it. So that would be an absolute truth.
Well, I mean, because that's of laws of logic, because murder by definition is unjust. Okay, so you can't say something is justly unjust. That'd be a contradiction.
Okay, so it would be the same thing. I believe that lying is wrong. I believe that you believe
Well,
that
I
lying
don't think it's wrong in all
is wrong.
scenarios.
Okay, so if you were to lie to your spouse to save yourself pain, but yet they're in deceit, you think that that would be okay?
It depends on the context.
Okay, so just say you're married, you cheat on your spouse, word goes out, and
Yeah,
then
I
she
think cheating is
confronts you on
wrong.
it.
I think
Okay,
cheating is
but
wrong.
then
So
but then but then that would come out, and then you would deflect and say, no, I didn't. Do you think that that would be
yeah, I
okay?
think that's wrong. I think that's wrong.
Okay, so that's what I mean, is those types of lies where you bring people into deceit.
Okay, like I mean, like the same way that you did.
In what manner?
Remember earlier you were talking about how you
With,
deceived
with
people.
basketball?
What was it? Was it basketball, or you let someone win it in a game or something like that?
Yeah, my children, man. That's love. It's not deceit, brother.
That's deceit, man.
Of course,
It
man.
actually, like, legitimately by definition is deceit. Like, I
It's
don't see
not
it as
deceit,
wrong,
man.
but under your definition, it would be wrong.
No, it's not wrong, man. It's
No,
love.
yeah, I don't think it's wrong. I agree with you, but I mean, your book says otherwise under your
It
notion.
doesn't, man, because there's a difference between love and all out deceit.
It seems like deceit can be loving here under your view. Seems like they're compatible.
I don't think the word would be deceit. I wish I had a word for
Wendy, I appreciate the
what it would
subscription.
be.
Thank you so much.
I wish I had a word for what it would be, but it's not deceit, man.
Okay.
So anyway, that's it, brother. So that's
Do you
the
believe God is
foundation.
perfect?
If I did not believe so, I would definitely not worship him. So the
Okay.
answer is yes.
Okay. So is God a perfect creator?
Of course, he's a perfect creator.
Okay. Given a perfect test taker, what do you expect to see?
Repeat the question.
Given a perfect test taker, what do you expect to see?
A perfect test taker, 100 everywhere.
Yeah, like perfect test scores.
Of
Okay.
course.
Given a perfect what's it called? I could just ask you right away. A perfect creator, what would you expect to see?
Perfection.
Like perfect
But
creation?
yeah, but then you know what's going to happen? I don't really have the time right now, but you're going to want to go into, I guess, the speech about free will.
No.
That's,
We're not even. This isn't even. We don't have to relate this to free will right now. Just the idea you've already accepted is that. Do you think that human beings are created by God?
We're created in his image, and we've fallen from that perfect image, yes, and this is the whole reason why we're in
So
trouble.
we're not perfect.
We are perfect. But
We
again,
are perfect, but we sin.
no, this is where I say it gets into free will. We were created in innocence in the Garden of Eden. Innocence has to be tested before it's deemed to be either righteous by obedience or sinful by disobedience.
No, I'm just asking whether or not we're perfect, right?
Right now,
Because
no.
again, you agree that like
Right
perfect is
now,
going to
no.
relate to flawless.
Yes, the
You
answer
agree that
right now,
sins are flaws, right?
the answer right now, if we're perfect, the answer is no.
Oh, okay, so we're not perfect. So we imperfect creation, right? But given a
No,
perfect creator, we expect to see a perfect creation.
it was a
So if we have
perfect.
an imperfect creation, wouldn't that say that we don't expect to see a perfect creator?
Okay, so again, you're jumping my answer. That's where free will came in. If we're created in perfection and we're given the choice to walk away and we did, well, then we walk in imperfection. And again, free will is a choice, and free will is given to us because of love. So you can't jump 2023 years after, or 7,000 years or whatever it is after creation and say, look, we're imperfect because your God is imperfect. No, in the beginning, everything was perfect. Everything was innocent.
See, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, for example, right? The Jesus was tempted by the devil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he never succumbed to that temptation.
That's right.
Why?
Because
perfect.
he had the righteousness of God. And that's why when we go
because
back
he's perfect, right?
But that's what righteousness is.
So he's perfect. Okay, so if you're perfect, you're righteous. Okay, so the idea is that if they were perfect, they would have never fell. Okay.
But that's what I'm telling you.
That's the idea. Okay, given the fact that they fell, that tells you that they were not perfect.
But that's what I told you. In the beginning, there was no righteousness in Adam or in Eve. There was innocence.
So no perfection.
There was innocence. Right? So
But they weren't perfect.
Nothing has yet tainted them. So you have to understand the difference between innocence and righteousness. And that's what I'm telling you.
So they weren't perfect, but nothing had yet tainted them at that point. But they could have been tainted, so that means that they weren't perfect.
But because of free will. But listen to what I'm saying, man. In the beginning...
Wait, but God has free will, right?
Okay, but listen to what I'm saying first.
No. Jesus has free will, right?
Yes.
Okay, but he's never going to succumb to temptation, even though he is perfect.
No, because he is God in the flesh, and he already came onto the earth righteous.
He came onto the earth righteous.
Yes, he was born already with the righteousness of God, since he is God.
Yeah, because he's perfect in the same way that if they were just created righteously. So like my expectation would be my expectation would be that they're created righteously.
They're not created righteously. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because that would be relating to perfect.
No, but it doesn't mean that they're sinful either. It means that everything was
we already know that they're sinful. Yo, I appreciate the sunglasses. Thank you so much, Kay. Appreciate it.
But again, you're not following me, brother. They're only
I'm not following. I'm pretty sure I'm following very clearly.
Yeah. They are only sinful because of disobedience. So here's
the point is that if you are saying disobedience is like some sort of bad action, if they're perfect, they're never going to do that.
Okay, so of course they will. Because what I'm saying is, in the beginning, there was no righteousness in Adam or Eve. There was innocence. And what I'm saying is, innocence has to be tested before it can become righteous, either through obedience or it becomes sinful through disobedience. So the free will was left with them.
Yeah, but you're not understanding me at all. You're not understanding me at all.
No,
Disobedience. No. Trust me, I am. Disobedience is not a good thing. It is considered bad. Okay, if it's considered bad and they are perfect, okay. Again, if they were truly perfect, they would always do the righteous thing.
No, because then you negate free will. And what I'm trying to tell you
No, that doesn't negate free will, because again, in this here, let me give you the reason why it doesn't negate free will. Okay,
because you're jumping the gun. You're not understanding.
No. Can I give you a reason why it doesn't negate free will?
Well, can I give you a reason why it does?
Well, I mean, you won't be able to know my reason,
ways, right?
Again,
do you understand the difference between righteousness and innocence?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Innocence just means hasn't engaged in a flaw yet, but can be corrupted. It's going to relate to, okay? And that's not perfect, okay? Can be corrupted as a flaw, okay? That's the idea that I'm referencing, okay? So the reason why it doesn't negate free will is because if I were to ask you today, right, can I do the right thing every single time today? Can I not sin today? Is that possible?
As of now, already in the fallen nature, no.
There's no probability, so it's logically impossible for me to not sin today.
That's right. Well, maybe for one day you can't, but I mean, if we're talking about even our thoughts.
Okay, so for one day I can. It's possible. Okay, if I were to ask you that tomorrow, would the question be yes? That I can also choose to not sin that day.
No, what I'm trying to say is it depends what your definition of sin is. My definition is
the same definition you go off of.
Okay, as of even a thought, I don't believe that you can go every day without sinning. No.
How? Wait, so there are sins that are non-volitional.
What do you mean?
We don't choose to do them. That even if we didn't have free will, we'd still engage in them.
Physically or mentally?
What? That doesn't answer my question.
No, but that's a question. I'm asking you this question so that I can better answer your question.
I don't see why that distinction. I don't even understand what that distinction would relate to.
Ask your question again.
I don't remember actually. You kind of just like threw me off with that question because it was completely. I was like confused as fuck.
Sin starts in the heart and in the mind, is what I'm saying. So if you were going to go a day without sinning, you would have to
Thank you
have
so much. Appreciate it.
perfect thoughts, always good, never anything wrong or
Is
tainted.
that possible?
That is not possible.
Do I control those thoughts?
Well, they come from your heart. So yes.
I do. If I control it, then I have the ability to do the right thing, right?
They will come in, right? Because of sin already.
Do I have the choice to do it or not?
To think about it, you have the choice to reject it.
Yeah, I do. If I have the choice to reject it, that means I can reject it, right?
Right, but what I'm saying
is... Okay, so if I can reject it, and I were to ask you in every single action in my life, could I reject sin, would you say that I can do it?
I would say no, because by nature you have sin in you.
No. That was logically entailed. Okay, so if I, in this circumstance, were to ask you, what would be relevantly distinct between that's the circumstance right now in my life and any other point in my life that means that I can control whether or not I sin now, but I cannot control what I sin then?
Dude, I'm not following you, man.
Okay. You were making a claim that I cannot control whether or not I sin later in my life, but I can control it right now.
I never said that.
That's what you just said.
No, I never said that. What I'm saying is because you're born in sin, you're always going to have sin in your thoughts and in your heart.
Yeah, but I have the ability of whether or not I would actually sin, right?
Physically, that's what I'm talking about. You mean bring it outside of your body to act on it?
Yeah.
You have that ability not to act on it for sure.
Oh, okay. So if I were to ask you that with every single, if I were to ask you that with every single action in my life, right, would the question or the answer still be the same? That yes, I can in every single scenario.
No, well, physically or mentally. That's what that goes back to. That
physically.
Most probably not, because you're at one point going to make a choice to fall physically.
Most probably not, but you can. It's possible. Like there's some level of probability, even if how minuscule it is.
No, because there's always, again, what I believe, that spiritual world, there's always a tempter, and people are drawn away by their own lusts and their own passions, and you will fall, and you will bring it to manifest through your body. But again, that doesn't matter, because what I'm saying is that sin starts in the heart. That's the only reason that it would ever even manifest at one point. So talking to me about a life of sinlessness outside the body doesn't matter when sin resides inside the body.
Can you tell me what's relevantly distinct between right now and between the future? Now, that means that right now I can control what I do, but in the future I cannot control what I do.
I never said that, man.
In terms of my actions.
No, at certain scenarios, depending how spiritually strong you would be, you may be able to control it, versus other times you may not be able to control it.
Is the probability point? It could be 0.000. I'm just asking. Is it even just like somewhat possible, right?
I
like
don't know.
In the sense that, hold up, let me finish. In the sense that like 0.0000000000000000001%, right? Like it could even be that. I don't care. I'll accept anything. Any level of probability.
That you can never sin again?
Yeah, that I would never sin today, and I could ask you that question for the rest of my life, right? Every single day, I would just choose not to sin.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. You're going to sin.
There's 0% probability.
Yep.
Well, okay, so I don't have free will then. That's essentially what you're telling me.
You do have free will, but you
then I would be able to choose to do the right thing.
No, because you don't understand the spirituality.
So if I have a 0% chance of being able to do the right thing, then I don't have free will. That's like literally what your view is. Okay?
But what I'm saying is that free will, you've already chosen to sin, and you've become bondage to sin. That's why Jesus said.
No, so I do have the choice. If I have a choice, what does that indicate, right?
Listen, but now
hold on. No, build on truth. I want you to get this point.
No, I want you to get this
choice indicates that it's either this or that. Determine one or the other. Okay. So that implies that you have two different choices, right?
And this is what Jesus says. Don't you know to whom you obey, you become a slave, either a slave to sin or a slave to righteousness. You don't understand that you're under a spiritual law of sin and death. And that's why you've already used your free will and you've fallen, you've become in bondage, and you need to get out of that bondage. And you will never be perfect until you have a resurrected body. So the answer is 0, brother. That's why it's a gift of God when he washes away your sin. But I got to get on with life right now.
Again, you're literally telling me that I cannot do the right thing, which means I wouldn't have free will. If you want to leave, that's fine. But like, that's literally no free will.
Life goes on, man. I got to go right now. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you that it lasted this long. I appreciated the conversation. But yes, I do have to go right now.
For sure. All right, everyone, if you like the content, make sure to follow me. If you've already tapped that screen, let's try to get to 250,000 likes, everyone. If you help get it out to more people, share the live, everyone. Let's try to get to 500 shares, everyone. But let me go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree. If you think that being gay is wrong or immoral, y'all. All right, give it a second, everyone. All right, let me go to the next person, y'all. It's for some reason not accepting this person. Give it 1 minute, everyone. 1 minute. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Yeah, do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
Yeah, and I'll start with what do you define as
What's
wrong?
your birth year?
2005. I'm not lying about being 18, bro.
No, you're good. I'm just making sure. So sorry, say that again.
So where do you think we get our sense of right and wrong, and what do you think the definition?
Preferences, and then what I think is the what?
Like, what would you define as something that's wrong in this sense?
Something that like you shouldn't do, right?
Something you shouldn't do. Okay, and then I'll start because I can't back this up. If God doesn't exist, then it doesn't matter if it's wrong. Like we're flesh. So do you believe in there being a possibility of a God or higher being?
Depends on what that higher being you're referencing is.
A perfect being,
anyone.
A morally perfect being. Okay, then there's no reason we should be having this argument. If you don't believe there's a possibility.
Why do you leave, bro? Like I at least ask for the argument, right? Like there's a contradiction. That's why. But okay, all right. Well, they just literally left. Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. All right, it's not accepting this person. I'm going to try the next one. Everyone, only send a guest request if you disagree. By the way, everyone, tomorrow we will be back on the main account, everyone. So I'm glad to be back there. I can't wait. Can't wait, everyone. Okay, for some reason it's not accepting people. Give it a second, y'all. I'm going to go to the next person. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. He gave up quick last time. Did he come on before? He literally got suspended, you guys. He didn't leave. No, who didn't leave? No, like no one got suspended on my live today so far. Not a single person. I can't even speak. He said a slur last time. Really? What, bruh? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, 2004.
Okay, for sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
Yeah, I do. All right, I just have like a theory here, right? I don't know.
Wait, what's your age though?
18.
18. So what month?
December 2004.
December. You know that doesn't really add up, bro.
What do you mean? 2005 would be 17. 2004 is 18.
No, I'm kidding. I'm trolling with you, dude.
Bro, what the fuck? All right, so I got a theory here, right? I just want to see how easily it can get shut down, right? So I was thinking and shit, like, if everybody in the world was gay, you know, then there'd be like no babies. I mean, sure, you can go to like I don't know, like sperm donor or something, but like in the same way, like a disease, you know, like it kills off everybody, right? If everybody has the disease, like if it's fatal. So my theory is like if everybody was gay, then like everybody, like there'd be no babies made. Humanity would die. You know what I'm saying?
So that would be assuming that gay people, first of all, don't want to procreate at all through IVF, right? In vitro fertilization. Secondly, gay people throughout history have engaged in intercourse with the opposite sex to produce children. That has happened, right? So I appreciate the glowing jellyfish. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Kate. So, I mean, gay people aren't infertile. So clearly speaking, there'd be some level of reproduction, right? But even if I were to assume that reproduction wasn't possible, it's not going to be the case that that's going to matter, right? As like, for example, do you think it's immoral to be celibate?
Celibate?
Yeah.
Wait, what's celibate?
I don't engage in intercourse.
Is it morally wrong? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, is it morally wrong to not engage in intercourse?
No, not at all.
Wait, but if everyone was celibate, we wouldn't be able to reproduce.
Right, exactly, bro.
So why wouldn't that mean that it's wrong then? Because again, you're saying that it's wrong to be gay or to engage in gay intercourse, but it's not wrong for someone to be celibate, even though they both lead to no reproduction.
Yeah, that's true, bro. See, I was just seeing if that shit could be shut down easily, bro. I appreciate it.
For sure, bro. Shouldn't come on though. I don't like devil's advocates. Don't like devil's advocates. Please don't come on if you're devil's advocating everyone. Just looking for some debates, y'all. Just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
Fuck gay people.
How old are you? Okay, they left. Okay, all they wanted to do is just say that. Okay. Well, I guess they would have to be gay to do that if you think about it, right? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Like if they wanna F gay people, right? Sounds like they're probably gay themselves. Um, I don't think they said what they wanted to say. Because like honestly, what I heard was a statement telling people to do that with gay people. You know what I mean? So they just told gay people to have sex. That's what it sounds like to me. Um, Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
What's your birth year?
Fuck knows.
That's tough, bro. Someone literally said it like 2 seconds ago, and you couldn't even listen. Listen, it's like when you don't listen to the thing that was just said in class. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
16.
You got to be 18 plus to join the live TikTok rules. TikTok rules, everyone. 18 plus. TikTok rules, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, they're not here. All right, we're going to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you disagree. Again, chat, we're just looking for debates, everyone. Just looking for some debates. I don't know why it's taking a second to get people up here. Just give it a second, everyone. We're getting all like the trolls and stuff today and the non-convos. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Parker, your mic? What about my mic? Did something happen with my mic? Did they unplug? Oh, here, I can fix it. Yeah, I appreciate the galaxy. Thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 30.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
I wouldn't say it's wrong because that'd be just my opinion. But what typically, what are you here for on this earth? A human. What are you humanly
Wait, no.
here
So
for?
I am actually asking for your opinion, by the way. But I mean, it depends on what you're referencing.
Well, I wouldn't say it's wrong as far as individually, you're supposed to do what you want to do with your body. But as far as, you helping yourself create more humans, yeah, it ain't right. I mean, me personally, I got a little brother that's gay. I don't mind. I don't care what you do with himself. I don't care what you do with you. But if, let's say hypothetically, if humans start to just dwindle away and everybody start to become gay, how are we going to reproduce and get more humans to get on the earth? You can't do that by being gay. But as far as morally wrong, no, do what you want to do. Yeah, that don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? I can be with my brother and his little gay boyfriend. I can be around him. I don't care about that. That don't bother me. But as far as it being right, as far as to repopulate the earth, no, it's not. But to do what you want to do with your own self, go ahead. Yeah, have at it.
So gay people can reproduce through things like IVF, in vitro fertilization, by providing sperm and eggs, right? And then they can implant it to a surrogate and produce children that way, like even biologically, right? So there's no issue when it relates to that. One, two, also, right? Even if we were to assume that like you can't reproduce, I appreciate the roses. Thank you so much. Do you think it's like wrong for someone to be celibate?
It's wrong to be celibate? No, because if she's celibate, I buy a bit. But I'm just bullshitting. No, that was a joke. But no, I don't. But when you're celibate, you're saving yourself for a particular person or reason.
Oh no, like I just full for the rest of the life. Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much.
You mean more so like the
Like
Catholic?
never like a pope.
Yeah, like a pope or something like that.
Appreciate the rose. Thank
Again,
you.
you can do what you want to do, but that person is still not helping to repopulate the
So
earth.
are they doing something wrong?
I mean, what else would you be here for? Yeah. You know
Yeah,
what
they're
I'm saying?
doing something wrong.
Yeah, I would feel so because ain't no human here that you're not supposed to populate. Even if you can't populate, your body is made to repopulate. That's
So
what you're typically here for.
so nuns and the pope are doing something wrong just by not engaging with other people.
When you say wrong, again, you're asking me my opinion. My opinion, yeah, because you're wasting your sperm, you're wasting your eggs on them not
Mila, I
doing
appreciate
what
the
they're
rose. Thank you
supposed
so
to do.
much.
Your eggs aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and your sperm is not doing what it's supposed to do. So
Okay.
you're wasting it.
So you're going outside of the context of some sort of natural purpose. Okay, so I have a question, right? What natural purpose determines that I can kiss people with my mouth?
What natural purpose?
Yeah, like because I mean, that's not a natural function that we would necessarily relate to. We'd probably relate to
Why would you say it's not natural?
well, it's not like the functions that you'd relate to with like breathing or like eating
Those are for
food or
law.
like speaking. Mila,
Those
I
are
appreciate the rose. Thank you so much.
speaking and kissing are something that your mouth is made to do.
How do you
But
know your mouth was made to kiss?
I mean, you do it.
Well,
I
okay.
mean, how do you know
Okay,
your
so
penis? How
people
do you
were
know your
made to
penis was
engage
made
in
to?
anal intercourse because they do it.
Say that again.
People were made to engage in anal intercourse because they do it.
But of course, but you asking me, do I think it's wrong? That's what you asking me?
Yeah, like what makes you think that one is wrong and the other one isn't? Because both of them. So like what says that someone not having kids means that they're going again? Actually, here I'll just ask you this question:
hmm
Is it wrong for someone to engage in gay intercourse and then to produce children later on?
Again, no. I mean, you are helping the earth. No, but as far as only just doing that and you never to have a kid, you're
Oh,
wasting.
so if two people in a gay relationship have kids through IVF, that's fine.
I mean, yeah, it is. Typically, it is fine, but still in all, like you wasting the fun part. You wasting the whole fun. The fun part is
How?
to go in a vagina and to see that 9 months and that stomach kick and you wasting
Well,
all of that.
you get to see the 9 months with someone who's a surrogate. I appreciate that, Little Crown. Thank you so much.
I mean, yeah, but still, again, to me personally, I feel like you're just wasting the fun part by giving it to somebody to put in this woman. I mean, that's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's my
Wait,
opinion.
so lesbians wouldn't be missing the fun part?
I mean, I know a couple lesbians that actually did miss the fun part because she only messed with girls and she went and got
They could still go through surrogate, but like the point is that you can do it yourself. Appreciate that they had mustache. Thank you so much.
yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. But shit, why spend 10,000 or five, whatever how much it costs when you could just have a night of fun? You feel what I'm saying? I
Well, it
mean,
wouldn't really be fun for someone who's not attracted to it. Appreciate the rose. Thank you
very
so
much
much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I just seen your video quite a few times, and I try to get inside this debate. You know, I see a lot of people get on here and talk about religion. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in no religion, none whatsoever. All of them. I think religion is division. So when people get on here and they say, "Oh, it's against God," yeah, actually, God did some fucked up shit. So you can't really say what he's against and what he's not against, or she, whatever it might be to them. But me personally, I just think that it's wrong because you're not helping the world reproduce. But if you actually do, you and your boyfriend actually go get
Oh,
whatever
I'm
you
not gay.
okay, well that's cool too. Well, I just said you and your boyfriend, but I mean I'm not either. But like I tell people, I don't care what other people do. Let them be them, you know. But if you actually do use what your sperm is supposed to be used for, then that's cool too. You're helping the earth. You know what I'm saying? You're helping your humanity repopulate. That's my outlook on things.
Okay, so it's not about being gay. It's just reproducing.
Yeah, it's the natural the what your body is naturally supposed to do.
Like, if
You
being
being
gay
born.
isn't wrong, engaging in gay intercourse isn't wrong. It's only just not reproducing.
I don't see it as wrong as far as on a moral standpoint. I just see it morally. I mean, I just see it wrong as you're not naturally doing what you're supposed to do. But again, I can still argue at that point and say, who the fuck says it's natural? You know? But I just know that a woman's supposed to carry a child and the man's supposed to give it to her. You get our point?
Well, I mean, we can dispute that type of stuff. It doesn't sound like you necessarily disagree then, when it relates to the standpoint. I mean, I disagree with your point, but like, it doesn't. It's not. You're not saying that like engaging in gay intercourse or that being gay is like wrong, at least in a moral sense. So, is there anything else you'd like to add or talk about?
Nah, I just want to get on. I've been trying to get on your shit for like fucking 3 weeks.
Appreciate the segue. Thank you so much. I apologize. I literally just like select at random, so
Yeah, it's all good. Hey,
I
stay up,
appreciate you
though,
coming
bro.
on. Thank you for the crown. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, we're gonna go to the next person. Again, if you disagree, make sure to send a guest request right now. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 250,000 likes. Mila's going crazy with the roses. Knox with the train. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Knox. Thank you very much. By the way, everyone, tomorrow we should be back on the main account. So tomorrow I will be on and we'll be back for a very long time tomorrow on the main account. But yeah, if you like my content, follow me if you haven't already. Tap that screen, everyone. What's up, Dean, bro? Mila, again, I appreciate all the roses. Thank you so much. We're gonna go into the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. We're just looking for some debates, everyone. Yo, Matt, thank you for the travel with you. I appreciate it, bro. W, Matt, let's go. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? All right, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. Again, we're just looking for some debates, y'all. Just looking for some debates. All right. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
I don't really think it's immoral. I just think it's wrong.
So what's the difference between wrong and immoral?
You see, now there is really no key difference in like wrong and immoral. I think the main difference that makes gay being quote unquote wrong is not just the fact that they're gay. Being gay is like fine. It's just the fact that they have gay intercourse. Is that what makes it
Oh, okay, yeah. So
essentially wrong?
what's wrong with gay intercourse?
Because it's not what the human body was designed for.
Oh, so
I
God.
mean, uh, yeah, I am a big like I'm a pretty Christian guy, you could say.
No, pretty Christian guy. Can you tell me where in the Bible it says that marriage is only between a man and a woman?
It doesn't say that, and I never said gay marriage was wrong. I just said that having gay intercourse is
So
wrong.
you believe that it's okay to get married when you're gay?
I personally don't care about it, so I'm just gonna say yeah.
Okay. Do you think that marriage within intercourse is wrong? I mean, intercourse within marriage is wrong. Sorry, my brain.
If you're gay, then yes.
Okay, so what scripture do you use for that?
Well, I don't really use a scripture for that.
You
There's
just you just
really no scripture to use for that.
exactly,
I'm
right?
not
So
okay, okay. I think I see what you're doing here. You think just because I'm Christian, I'm basing my whole argument off the Bible. I'm not basing my entire argument off the Bible. Some of my points will come from the Bible, but the whole argument will not be for the
wait,
Bible.
but it's compatible with being Christian that you can get married when you're gay and engaging intercourse, and that's not immoral.
Just because it's compatible with the Bible does not mean that it's from the Bible. My opinion differs
Well,
from
it
some
sounds like it's
parts
just
of
as
the
valid
Bible.
as any other interpretation.
Okay, just because it's valid, that doesn't mean that it's my interpretation. I don't really see where you're going here.
Well, I mean, what's to justify your interpretation of the Bible over this interpretation I just named?
Okay, I had to think for a second. So what you're doing essentially is asking me questions about where in the Bible does it say. My thing is I'm not basing my argument off the Bible. So what is the point of bringing up
Wait, you're
scripture for
Christian.
my argument?
You're
So
Christian. How do
that
you
doesn't mean
understand
everything I
God?
have to do and bring up is from the Bible. That is
Well,
literally what I
most of
just
it
said.
does. It's the foundation is that's how you determine God's nature, the characteristics of God.
I know this. I just sat here and told you just because I'm Christian, my whole argument is not going to be based upon the Bible.
Okay, okay. So you're gonna disagree with the Bible.
I had never said I would disagree with the Bible. I just said my
So
argument
you
is
still
going to be
agree with
based
the
upon the
Bible,
Bible.
right?
On a fundamental standpoint, yes.
Okay, that's what's relevant.
Okay, so can you ask the question again so like we can like restart this because I don't know what that was.
Yeah, so like how do you justify your interpretation of scripture over mine? Like the one I just named out.
Pardon, pardon.
Yeah, how
Can
do
you
you
like
justify
explain
your
that?
interpretation of scripture, right, that says that it's wrong, right, over this interpretation that I just named that says it's not wrong?
Okay, so the thing is with gay intercourse, it is merely wrong for the fact that you're not. It's not what the human body was made for. Well, you can find instances in nature where having gay intercourse is part of what they do in like a societal standpoint. But even though they do that, it's just not natural. Period.
Wait, so what do you mean by natural?
Well, by natural means that let me figure out a way to word this. But let's just say for the purpose of having kids or something.
Okay, so if I engage in intercourse with a woman who's infertile, right, is that wrong?
No, it's not wrong because that's partially what the human body was made for.
Yeah, but it doesn't lead to reproduction.
Okay, okay. Let me put this
So it's not
in a
natural.
it is natural because that's what the human body was
But it
made
doesn't
for.
lead to reproduction.
Okay, but the intent was to lead to reproduction. If you and another man got
No, it
together,
wasn't
the
because I
intent
knew that
isn't
she
to
was
go into
infertile.
reproduction. The intent
Wait, wait,
is
wait,
to
wait,
just
wait.
gain
If I know
pleasure
that
in the
she's
flesh.
infertile, then how could the intent be for reproduction?
Okay, but what if you don't know that she's infertile?
Okay, well, I'm talking
The
about a
main
scenario where
point
I
is
do. Appreciate the
okay.
handout. Thank you so much.
What? Okay, well, what if you do? Technically, it still would not be wrong because at the end of the day, it's still a woman.
Okay, so
It like
it's about them being a woman. It's not about the fact that it's natural.
well, it's natural for people to be for the opposite sex to be attracted to women.
Man, it's also
Now,
natural for the same sex to be attracted to the same sex.
and I was just about to get into that. While I do think that it is natural for people to be attracted to the same sex, I don't think it justifies having sex with
Sure, sure,
the
sure. I'm
same
not just saying
sex.
because something's natural, it means it's justified. What I'm saying is that there's no reason that there's a consenting adult relationship between two individuals who are gay. There's no reason why that's wrong.
Well, I think it is wrong
Well,
because
then what's the
because for
reason?
the main purpose of reproduction is to have kids. How are you going to reproduce with the opposite sex?
Wait, you're
Like
not
it
trying
makes
to
no.
reproduce by engaging in intercourse. The same way that when I engage in intercourse, I'm not trying to reproduce.
But that's literally the point of sex.
Nah, that's one point. It's not the only point. Don't you think there's a note? Wait, so after you've produced children, and say your wife is infertile now, right? After you've already produced children, right? Would it be immoral for you to engage in intercourse knowing that it's not going to lead to reproduction?
No, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's not going to lead to reproduction. What was the purpose of it? What was it meant for there?
Well, okay. So what I'm gonna say is gonna be very
Pleasure.
contradictory, but it can be.
It was for emotional connection.
Yeah, I was gonna say emotional and physical, but it can be applied both ways. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that it cannot be applied both ways
Yeah,
because
that's what
it
I'm
can.
saying.
But still at the end of the day, I think it's wrong. Okay,
But
I'm
why?
gonna think of an analogy. It's probably gonna be like retarded because
Oh my god, bro.
I'm tired. Okay.
Bro, why do people just like uh all right, we're gonna go to the next person, everyone. I don't know. Like people just like literally say that so casually. I just don't understand it.
All right,
Yo,
we're
what's
gonna go
up,
to the next.
Holiday?
Like people just like literally say that so
Oh,
casually. I
we
just
got
don't
such an
understand it.
echo. Echoes up. Echo the fuck up. Echo the fuck up. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Yeah. What's your birth year?
May 31st, 2005.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
I personally, I don't have a problem with it, but I'm a big Christian, so from that point, I believe it's wrong.
You're a Christian, you said? You said you're Christian, right? Hello?
Oh, do you hear me?
You said you're Christian, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so why are you Christian?
I grew up in a Christian household and built my foundation on like what the Bible believes and just how treating people more in the New Testament than the Old Testament, though, because a lot of rules changed from the switch.
Mm-hmm. What are the first three books of the New Testament?
Are you testing like if I'm a Christian or not?
No,
Like,
I'm just asking.
well, I thought we were talking about something else.
Oh, no, I'm just asking. Like, well, I mean, I was gonna just question if you've read the New Testament.
Oh, why? I mean, why are you? I'm like I read Mark, Luke, and John, like the main ones like that. I'm 18. I haven't gone through the whole Bible. But if you want to test my Christian knowledge, that's not really what I'm here for.
Well, sure. I mean, I was just gonna question that to see, like, if you know anything about it, right?
No,
Um,
that's all right. I was just like earlier you like were saying like asking for scripture like within the Bible where it says like sexual intercourse with like
yeah, go
people.
for it. Give me a verse.
Leviticus 18:22.
That's Old Testament. By the way, when you're paused, I can't hear you.
I'm paused. You can't hear me.
Yeah, I can't hear you. So
Oh,
go find the verse and then you can come back.
all right. I'll catch you.
All right, everyone, tap that screen. Let's try to do 250,000 likes. If you disagree, send a guest request right now. Let's try to get to 500 shares, everyone. We'll help get it out to more people. Oh, he just left. All right, we're gonna go to the next person in the meantime. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. Just looking for some debates, y'all. He forgot Matthew. Yeah, he did. He got 2/3. Honestly, that's why I was like, oh, it's okay. You know, like honestly, if you could just give me like a few of them, that's all I was asking for. I don't need all of them, honestly. Lana, I appreciate the hearts. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I did not mean to click that.
You're good. Don't worry. I appreciate you coming on. All right, let's go to the next person, everyone. Again, only send a guest request if you disagree. We're just looking for some debates, everyone. Only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
19.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
I do think it is wrong in a sense.
In what
And I'll
sense?
lay out my whole debate.
Wait, do you hold the view yourself?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Do you believe in demons?
No.
You don't.
Mm-mm.
Are you agnostic?
Yeah.
So do you believe in a higher power?
No.
Isn't that what agnostic is?
No, agnostic means I don't know.
All right. Well, here's the whole view on it spiritually. You don't even have to be a Christian to agree. So, even since ancient civilizations, there are demons that usher in these homosexual energies. And it's not just homosexuality, it's all these evil things. They are controlled by demons.
Yeah, so how do you know that you're not being controlled by a demon?
Well, you don't. That's why, as a spiritual
Okay, so
Christian,
you're just as likely to be controlled by demons as gay people?
yes, everyone is.
Okay, so what's to make you think that they're being controlled rather than you're being controlled? If it's just as likely, it's literally just as likely. So,
Well, so the thing with that is we are supposed to get deliverances, which get rid of demons in the Christian faith.
yeah, but how do you know that they actually get rid of them? Couldn't that just be like a demon that manipulated the person who wrote that down in the Bible?
No, well, this
Yeah.
is also this is a spiritual aspect that no one really speaks on because it's hidden.
But it was written down by humans, right? It
Well,
wasn't God.
there are a lot of demonology books, like for example,
I mean, but couldn't the Bible be a demonology book? But it's just with the guise of actually being Christian.
actually King James was a popular demonologist. He studied demonology.
Yeah, and how close was it to the Bible? Very close. Appreciate the chasing the moon. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. W's in the chat, everyone. Appreciate it, Elliot. Thank you.
So even ancient civilizations believed in these demons or gods and worshiped them. This has gone back for thousands of years. There's
Yeah, what's to make you think that yours isn't just another one of those?
no, well, all right. So we're gonna get deep into this. The Bible, and not only the Bible, I've studied Omnism. I'm a recent born Christian, right? Was atheist basically my whole life growing up. Did not care for God, you know. Many religions share this one thing, this one similarity, and that is fasting. And the Bible tells you to fast and pray. And who do you know that fasts?
Yo, Ellie, I appreciate the well diving. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the sunglasses. I appreciate it,
The
Kay. Who
problem
fasts?
nowadays is that nobody is spiritually like adept. Everyone's spiritually lukewarm. They're spiritually
So
dead.
you are too?
No, well, I fast, I pray, um, I do things in my life that will further my spiritual knowledge and strength.
But that's in accordance with what's written down in the Bible. So when I asked the question, is the Bible something that could have been influenced by the devil rather than being influenced by God? Or then couldn't you say that you're under the same guise as other individuals are under?
It's possible, which is why I don't say that the Bible isn't flawed, because it was written by humans, although they were claimed to have the Holy Spirit guide them in writing this.
Couldn't that just been the devil? The holy demon?
I guess it's possible.
Yeah, so like that. I mean, what's to say that it would be that it was the Holy Spirit rather than the holy demon?
Well, that's where you get into more spiritual aspects, as in, I don't know, principles and values and experiences you have in your own life. And spirituality is very individualistic, so I can't tell you what to expect.
How about this? What would be your response to this? Let's say that I had a faith. I just decided to spawn in a faith, right?
Yeah.
And my faith is in a religion in which this God that created the universe, right? It created religions like Christianity to be able to suck people's souls, right? It's an evil God, right? And it wants to like harvest your soul. Okay? So it created all these religions, and if you have faith in them, it's harvesting your soul. Right? So all the people who do not have faith, they get saved and they go to like some paradise, right? And all the people that do not get, do have faith, right, in this God, they go to hell and they get their soul harvested by this demon God, right? What justifies your religious belief over mine?
Well, that's why I say it's individualistic. So personally, I fasted and prayed. I was led to Christianity. I can't tell you like what it's going to lead to in your life unless you do that spiritual work and strengthen your spirituality and your knowledge. And this, I can kind of lead this into science.
So there's nothing differentiating these views. These views are just as valuable in terms of knowledge.
Well, certain aspects, there's definitely a lot of truth in various religions, like I said before.
No, the one that I just mentioned. Appreciate the money gun. Thank you so much. The one I just mentioned, where again, right? If you have faith, you get sent to hell because you get your soul harvested. If you don't have faith, then you go to some paradise.
Well, I don't think it's solely faith-based, which is why
I meant like in Christianity and stuff.
Speaking on the more spiritual aspects. And there's a YouTuber, Isaiah Saldivar and Vlad Savchuk, who go into this, and they explain how Christians nowadays are very spiritually watered down. Like, yes, you can read the Bible. Yes, you can pray.
Wait, Raw Agent, what did I just say to you? Can you repeat what I said?
You just said all these religions that are faith-based. I explained I'm not solely based on faith when it comes to this. That's why I bring up the spiritual aspects.
No, what did I say?
Well, you asked something about having faith, and those who have faith go to heaven, those who don't go to hell.
Yeah, faith in Christianity, and that's the religion that I decided to believe in. So what separates your religious belief from my religious belief to say that yours is justified and mine's not justified?
Like if we're both Christian, and
I'm not. No, in this sense, I wouldn't be Christian. In this sense, my religion says that if you are Christian, you go to hell. Right? And if you're not Christian, then you go to heaven. This is a different religion. So what justifies your religion over mine? My religion How do you know that mine is unjustified and that yours is justified? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I personally believe mine is justified because I have the spiritual discernment
Okay, what
that
if I were to
tells.
say that I have the spiritual discernment that I'm right?
Well, that's where it gets tricky with spirituality because I can't tell whether or not you're spiritually
Yo,
adept or not.
Trinity! Yo, thank you. I appreciate the Rosa Nebula. Thank you so much. W Trinity's in the chat, everyone. Holy shit. Yo, I appreciate it, Trinity. Thank you so much. That was fucking wild. I really appreciate that, Trinity. W Trinity in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. That's wild.
But like, as I was saying, I can't necessarily fully 100% tell, you're spiritually adept, so whatever you're saying holds weight, you know. I can believe in
Can't I say the same
myself.
thing about you?
Yeah, you can, but
Okay, so like it seems like our beliefs are just as justified. Right? My views just as applicable as yours.
in a sense, but when it comes down to the spiritual aspect, there are telltale signs. It's a lot of it is through personal experience, and I don't know. So I see a lot of these atheists or like non-believers, agnostics. They have pretty bad lives. You know, they have horrible mental health.
Tell me how
They
my
tend,
life is bad.
well, not necessarily you. I
Well,
don't really know
I'm
your
an
life.
agnostic atheist. Let me know just because my atheism how my life is bad. I'd love to hear it.
Well, I don't know about your personal life,
Appreciate the corgi. Thank you so much, P.
but I'm just saying a
Do I seem
pattern.
unhappy?
I not at this current moment, no. But
Um,
I'm saying a pattern that I recognize. It's always the people who are depressed and have not the best lives that tend to go against God. And I mean, I
do you
understand.
not see the people who are depressed that turn to God?
Yeah, I
Appreciate the
do.
handout. Thank you so much. I literally
And
hear all the time about how people like literally take their religion. I appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. And their whole religion is based in their mental health. Okay, like that's literally like the whole basis of their perspective and their faith. Okay, so like this idea that like it's people who are emotional and like depressed who are not religious, I think is clearly just not something that we see is only applicable to non-religious people. It's very applicable to religious people.
well, definitely, I think God has to break certain people down in order for them to say, all right, maybe I need to go to God instead of, you know, diverging into self pleasure. You know, it's there's a lot of drug addicts, food addicts, a lot of people who suffer from things because they divulge into self pleasure. They tend to go to God when they're at their
Yo,
lowest
Patrick, thank
because
you so much for the garland. I appreciate it.
that
Thank you.
is that's kind of a point where you know you're defeated. God comes to you at your lowest because you need God.
Can't God make it so that you come to God through more positive mechanisms?
See, imagine you're a rich person, you have a great life, you have everything you need. Why would that person just all of a sudden go to God? It's
Because well, I mean, because they want love.
well, what if they already get love? They have everything they need. Why would they
Yeah,
say, "Oh,
so
maybe I
God
need
has to put
someone"?
us in a state of dependency where we need God in order for us to want God.
Well, it's not
Isn't that
dependency.
coercive? Doesn't that kind of go against free will?
So
Laura, I appreciate the superpower. Thank you so much.
I don't believe we have 100% free will. Like, I bet you know instances in your life where, you know, things were just meant to happen. I believe there's some free will, there's some fate, you know, it's destiny. I
Oh,
believe we
so
have like
thank you for
partial
the
free
handout. I
will,
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
partial destiny.
So is there any sin that God determines?
What do you mean by determines?
Yeah, like God causes that sin.
Um, I don't think God necessarily causes it, but he can work through sin. God can turn a bad thing into a good thing, you know?
Candy, thank you for the duck. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so can God turn a graping of a woman into a good thing?
Well, I
Yo,
think
thank you
God
for the
can
mirror bloom.
turn
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I think God can turn any bad thing into a good thing. So I guess yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily like use that.
Can God turn the Holocaust into a good thing?
Well, I think God can turn anything bad into a good thing. You know, even let's say something horrible happened to your people or like the natives. You can either be
Appreciate the
defeated by
subscription.
that.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
You can be defeated by an attack or something, or you can take that and, you know, like Stoicism says, just take it at face value.
Wait. So to clarify, right? God can somehow, I appreciate the superpower, thank you so much, make it a good thing for people to be mass genocided for no good reason.
Well, I'm not saying that that event was a good thing, but the people who did survive, they can learn from that negative, you know, event.
So it was just because God wanted them to learn.
I don't think.
Appreciate the paper crane. Thank you so much. Can't God teach us through mechanisms that don't involve genocide?
He can, but
he can, right? So then why is he saying that genocide can happen then?
Well, not everyone learns the same way. Some people can learn through positive things.
So they need genocide in order to learn.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but
okay. So then why was there genocide?
Free will. That's
okay, but I mean, we could still have free will without there being genocide, right?
We can, but some humans, that's
like for example, right? God is all knowing, all powerful, and all good, right?
Yes.
So if God's thinking about like, oh, they have free will, God sees all the outcomes of the different actions that we engaged in, right?
Can you repeat that, please?
So God knows every single action that we would have engaged in and like the different actions that we would have engaged in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So God sees all, like let's essentially take each of these actions and say that each of these actions necessarily is a different world, right? A different possible world, okay? So God sees an infinite set of possible worlds, right? In one of those possible worlds, every single individual on the planet could have always done the right thing, right? Because, like, for example, let me ask you this question, right? Could I do the right thing today every single time?
Yes.
If I were to ask you tomorrow, would the answer still be the same?
Yes.
The next day?
Yes. I mean,
if I asked you every single day until I died, would the answer be the same?
See, that's where humans being born in sin comes from.
No. If I asked you every single day, would the answer be the same?
I mean, it's a very complex topic because that kind of leads into quantum physics. Like you can't compare today to tomorrow to next year. If you know about chaos theory, the further you are into the future, the less certain you can be. And Schrodinger's cat tells us we don't know until we know. So you can't like use hypotheticals to.
Oh, okay. So, wait. So you're saying that God doesn't know true facts about the future?
Well, God being omnipotent and all-knowing, then yes, but he can't force.
So if he knows true facts about the future, then he doesn't have to observe them, right? Yeah. Well, the observation there would be that if you didn't know.
Well, you're speaking as a human. Like, can I do this today, tomorrow, the next day? That's your free will. That's not really God making that choice because he gave us free will.
God gave us free will. Yeah, God gave you. Okay, so here, we'll listen to this, right? So again, the idea is that you have free will in all these different possible worlds. You just chose to do different things. So God can select which world is chosen given all of the different possible worlds, and it's still not God that determined that action. It's effectively you. You still determined it. You still had free will in this world, right? So there can, since even if the probability is 0.000000001%, right, in terms of the likelihood of you never sinning today or every other day of your life, you can just extend that as many zeros, infinite amount of zeros, right? It's still going to be the case that there's one possible reality from the infinite set of possible realities in which every single individual would always do the right thing freely, totally free, right? Like, not saying that God determined the action, but they determined it themselves, right? Just out of sheer chance, sheer random chance. Right? So that is a world that God can generate because he's all-knowing and all-powerful. So the issue is that then God would have a choice between a world where there's free will and no sin and a world where there's free will and sin. So since we're holding free will constant in both of these different worlds, we have a comparison, a world with sin or a world without sin. So if we exist in a world with sin, that tells us that God prefers sin, which yields a contradiction, right? Because sin is something that's against God's preference. So you end with a statement of God prefers a world in which God has a preference against, right? That's a contradiction. Jeremiah, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you.
Well, I think the philosophy goes that Earth is a place to learn, right? If everything is going well, everything is perfect, how is a human going to ever learn and grow?
If you're perfect, how can you grow?
Exactly.
That's exactly my point. Why would growth even matter? You're already perfect.
Well, God created us as individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like being an individual?
Sure.
So God wants you as an individual to grow and learn and to be righteous and to bring his glory onto this earth.
Appreciate the corgi. Thank you so much.
What would be the point if he controlled everything and made everyone perfect? Why would that?
He didn't control everything here. Again, they did it themselves, and God just selected the world from the ones that they determined.
So it's ultimately God choosing that, though.
Appreciate the sunglasses. Thank you so much. No. It's ultimately they determined it, right? It was just selected by God. Yeah.
So you're kind of going into multiverse theory.
No. We're saying I'm not. This is your view, right? We're just saying that there are different things that could have happened, and God knows the different things that could have happened. So when God is creating the world, this is God's process, right? There is different worlds that he could have created, and we're just saying that this is a world that we would expect him to create, right? Not the world that we exist in. Since God didn't create this world that we would expect him to create, that tells us that this God does not exist.
I don't really follow the logic you're using.
Okay, well, what didn't make sense?
Because you're saying God could have picked the world where everyone was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, like, as an individual, what would be the significance of you already being perfect? God chose us
It's
to
a
be
better world than what we
individuals.
exist in now. There's not genocide. There's not child sex trafficking, right? There's not people dying of natural disaster, right? There's not children dying of cancer, right? Like, I mean, is that not a better world than what we exist in now?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but the humans have to come together and do that. Like, why?
Yeah, that's the point. One of these worlds we did.
Why would God just create a world where we're all perfect? We don't have to learn anything.
Because it's
we
a
don't have
better
to
world
do.
than we exist in now.
I'm not disagreeing, but like, there's no significance in that.
Aren't you? No, what do you mean there's no significance? Are you saying that there has to be bad for there to be significance?
No, well,
Are you saying that there has to be kids that are genocided for there to be significance?
the philosophy is that we have to grow as a person in order to get to heaven. Whether you
I
believe,
don't think that's necessary, right? Because my point would be that God didn't have to grow. God had this innate knowledge. So in the same way that God had this innate knowledge, we could also have that innate knowledge.
yeah, but then there'd be no significance because we'd all be on the same page. Imagine it's like the dystopian books that everyone is the same, everyone has the same views, that's not a world you really want to live in.
Again, you don't have to have the same views on everything for you to be perfect, right? There could be views on things in which do not relate to whether or not there's a flaw. Like me having the favorite color of green, right? I don't. My favorite color is blue, right? And someone else having the favorite color of yellow, right? Neither of us are necessarily wrong.
Yeah, but if you were someone said it, there's a difference between being put that or being made that way and going through experiences to get to that level. Like there's significance in you going through life and experiences to bring you to righteousness, to bring glory onto this earth.
Yeah. What's the significance?
Well, it's like imagine you were just given all the money you wanted in the world for no reason. Like most people would be depressed because then it's like, whoa, well, what do I do now?
No. Most people will be fucking happy, okay? That's wild.
I don't know. There's studies that show after a certain amount of
Yeah, you don't get
income
more
being made-
happy, but people would be, from the standpoint they are, would be way more happy.
I mean, a lot of people are saying that they'd love that, but
I would be fucking stoked.
Yeah, for a certain amount of time until you bought everything you wanted, you obtained
Oh
everything you
no, I
wanted.
could help. You can help other people. That never stops.
That's true, but
That
still
literally
feel
never
after.
stops. There's nothing stopping that. You could use all your money to help people.
I mean, I guess we can agree to disagree.
There's
'Cause I don't-
no disagreement there. You clearly can.
I don't really believe everyone would feel that way, you know. There's a lot of rich people who do weird
I'm
shit.
not saying everyone would
because
feel
they're
that way,
poor.
but I'm saying it's like a reasonable response.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, it's different to think about it in theory and then to actually experience it.
Okay, so what's your point though, right? Did God have to experience it to know it? No, right? God already knew it. So that's my point, is that these experiences are so unnecessary, right?
But
And
that's
the
what
pain
makes
and the
us human.
suffering that people go through, it could be only justified if it was necessary.
I do think some of the pain and suffering, like it talks about this in Stoicism. You can either be defeated by whatever you're going through, or you can use that to make you stronger. A lot of these very well-known people who are great at what they do, you know, they all have a story where something happened to them that made them stronger. And I feel like that's what we need to push more is don't just succumb
Yeah, but
to
that doesn't mean that people have to go through genocide in order to get stronger. That doesn't mean that people have to go through their kids getting shut up at a school in order for that to happen. That doesn't mean that the Holocaust has to occur for that to occur, right?
Right.
Millions of people don't have to be tortured and don't have to die in the most horrendous ways possible for that little simple notion of, oh, people go through, I don't know, someone breaking up with them, right? And they get through it and like find someone later on in their life. As like a comparison to, like, again, all these other types of things that are happening, right? We've all been heartbroken and whatnot in our lives, but I don't think that's like something you can compare to,
Well, yeah,
like people being
that's
genocided, right?
that's where free will comes in. It's not necessarily God that says, "Oh, we need to bring a genocide onto this earth so they can learn this lesson." It's
No, it's
humans.
that no, I already answered this. Free will can exist, right?
Yeah.
And it can still be the case that you do the right thing in every scenario. There's literally no contradiction with that, no issue whatsoever.
But like what I'm saying is that God can use those bad things that humans do with their free will and turn it into something.
How? If God's not limiting one's free will, then how?
Well, I don't believe in full free will. I do believe there's some destiny involved.
So God determines some action. Is any action that God determines bad?
Well, that's
Oh,
subjective.
and if there's only some free will, how come God doesn't step in and stop children from being raped by P3DOs?
I'm not God. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so he limits free will, but he doesn't care to limit the free will then? Because I don't know about you, but I limit that free will. Would you?
Well, personally, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
But if God just limits some people's free will and then lets other people have
I
their
don't see
free
how that
will,
could be can you explain to me how that could be for a greater good?
well, I'm not saying that specific event, but
No, it would be that specific event. That's the only reason it could have occurred.
well, I think those events occur because of free will, but God can
But
turn
again,
any.
God limits free will. So no, it's not because of free will.
Well, I don't think God fully limits free will.
God doesn't fully limit it, right? But God even partially limiting it would be compatible with him stopping this. So the Holocaust just isn't good enough for him to stop it, or the children being raped, that's not good enough for him to stop it.
Well, we don't really know the inner workings of God / the creator, so I can't really give you an explanation for that.
This sounds like a good God to you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Well, if I know you're like bringing up those points and then you're saying, oh, is this a good God? But God is an intricate, omnipotent creator. You can't just point out one little thing and then say, oh, well, is he a good creator because these bad things happen?
I didn't point out one little what do you mean little thing?
Well, not one
The
little
Holocaust
thing.
isn't little. 6 million people dying. That's not little, right?
Well, I meant in terms of like everything that happens every day, That is one event out of billions.
Yeah, so you want to talk about the 9 million people that starve every single year? How about that?
Well,
what about what's the point of making the Black Plague? Why does the bubonic plague exist?
I'm not sure. Like, God works in mysterious ways. I can't give you an explanation for that.
God just wanted to wipe out like a third of people at the time.
Well, I'm not sure.
What was the point of making it? Like, I really am concerned. Was it that was supposed to benefit us?
Well, I can give you one thing that might explain God's inner workings. So, the number one killer in the United States, I'm pretty sure it still is heart disease.
God.
Heart disease, right?
Oh yeah.
Now is heart disease preventable?
Sure, to some degree, not fully.
So God gave us a brain to use. I'm not sure the exact scripture on this, but God gave us a brain to use it, and those who just choose to be ignorant will suffer the consequences. Do you agree?
People who choose. Wait, so sorry. Say the first part again.
God gave us a brain to use it, to seek knowledge, to grow our intelligence. Those who choose to remain ignorant and don't seek knowledge or don't seek to learn, they're gonna pay that. If you don't know certain things, then you're gonna succumb to other things. Would you agree?
You can be like, if you don't know some things, you can be ignorant, or you could be naive.
Yeah, and that will cause you to sort of fall to things that, because you don't have that knowledge, you can succumb to certain things.
What's your point?
My point is there's a big epidemic in all over the world. It's the lack of knowledge of human biology and nutrition. There are many studies showing that a lot of these diseases that people die to, that people go to the doctors for, can be treated and prevented, including mental illness. There are plenty of studies supporting that, like basically all of these mental disorders that people have, bipolar, schizophrenia, whatever you want to say, they are actually due to nutritional deficiencies. And there are many studies citing.
Can you give me one?
I don't have one on hand, but you can.
Can you give me a title?
One I saw recently was literally just look up schizophrenia and nutritional deficiency. It's gonna pop up right away. You can literally look it up. Or even depression and nutritional deficiencies. There are many studies showing that their control group didn't get any better. The group that were supplemented with certain nutrients, their symptoms actually went away. There's multiple studies on this.
So this is a correlation, not a causation.
How is it not a causation? If
It just is
everything
associated with.
everything in the human body, that's why I said if you understand human biology and nutrition, literally everything in your body connects to nutrition.
So we can look at that, but like again, this is just an association. Can you give me one source that says that it's caused?
Well, what would be a source that would mean it's caused if someone is
that isolates for variables, has a control group, tests.
Yeah, there are studies that have control groups.
Yeah, give me one. Give me one that does this. I'll give you time to go find it.
All right.
All right, everyone. In the meantime, while he looks for that, everyone tap that screen. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes, everyone. If you want to help get it out to more people, share the live. Let's try to get to 500 shares, everyone. By the way, everyone, we will be back on the main account tomorrow at what's it called? Tomorrow at what is it? I don't know what time yet, but tomorrow I'll be live on the main account, everyone, again, because we did get suspended for misinfo. But yeah. No, Matt, I wasn't saying control for schizophrenia. I was saying control for people that don't eat these particular foods that he's saying induce, or don't have these mineral deficiencies, right?
All right, so I found one.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can induce that, Matt. Because that would be the outcome. That wouldn't be something that you induce.
It's called nutrition deficiencies and clinical core in first episode psychosis.
Here, sorry, say that one more time.
Nutritional deficiencies and clinical correlation in first episode psychosis. It specifically cites
and clinical corollaries.
Clinical correlates.
Correlates. And then what's the last part?
In psychosis.
And psycho.
But there's studies on, literally look up any mental illness, and there has been
in first episode psychosis.
Yeah.
Okay. And where does it say what you said?
If you scroll down to conclusions, it concludes that
it just is associated.
Well, what I don't know what
it says further research must examine the direction and nature of these relationships with clinical status and FEP. Future trials assessing efficacy of nutrition supplementation FEP samples should consider targeting and stratifying for baseline deficiency. So yeah, this is just saying association, right? Because it says that deficits in vitamin D and folate previously observed in long-term schizophrenia appear to exist from illness onset and are associated with worse symptomatology. So it's just referencing like there being like a correlation.
Well, I mean, with any emerging science, it's not just going to be one single study that's like, all right, they're always going to
you determine causation, though. You have to have some ability to like say that one caused the other, right? If you just give an association in any statistics course, they're going to be like, oh, correlation, causation, fallacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can say that with any study then.
If it's just a correlation.
Well, how would it not be a correlation? It's your body's all.
If it's just a correlation, right? We're trying to look for whether or not there's a relationship. Appreciate the hand art. Thank you so much. Just because there's a correlation doesn't mean there's a relationship. For example, right, there are things called spurious correlations, right? We can relate to in circumstances like, for example, there's an increase in crime during the summer, and there's also an increase in the amount of people who get ice cream, right? So does the increase in ice cream actually cause an increase in crime?
No, I know what correlation is, but like, how would you prove that in nutritional deficiencies? It's all correlation, and you can even test this yourself if you have a mental disorder and you find a study that says, oh, well, this supplement or this certain vitamin causes this specific symptom. You can test it yourself and see if it works. I mean, like I said, we learn through
Yo, Georgia, I appreciate the
experiences.
cuddle with you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Everyone is criticizing me, but I bet they haven't tried it.
Yeah, so but you just can't just say causation equal correlation. Again, that's the point I'm getting to. You can't just say it, you know?
I mean,
If you don't have a causation thing, you can't just say that correlation equals causation.
if you study human biology and nutrition, you can figure out exactly why that's the case, because
Yeah, but you
you
wouldn't
can,
do so just by relying upon correlation, right?
I
There are
mean, this,
nutritional studies that demonstrate causation. So like I don't know what you're talking about, but
but
yeah.
like what in this case with mental illness and nutritional deficiencies, what would not be correlation?
I can send you studies that show that like eating exorbitant amounts of particular foods can cause negative outcomes, and that's through causation, not just correlation.
Well, I feel like studies that show causation would be like immoral and cruel, because that would cause them to deprive humans of certain nutrients. I don't think that would be allowed.
Okay, so we can't get information on this then,
Well, in
even
the
though
way
it'd be
you're
consentful,
saying,
by the way.
well, I think we can look at the human population and say, all right, what are these people eating? What are these people eating? What do they suffer from? You know, that'd
So
be,
you're just saying like a meta like a you take data and then you analyze the data.
yeah.
But the point is you're just looking at associations.
I mean, I think the only way you'd have a satisfied response is if they did a study where they literally deprived humans of specific nutrients, which would kind of be cruel.
They would do that with other types of entities. They wouldn't do it with humans, but
Yeah, but humans are their own. We have our own set of nutrition and human biology. Why would you do it on animals?
well, it's because humans are animals because similar biology.
Similar, but not the same. You can't really
Clearly, yeah, it's not the same, but I
include that.
mean, well, you can know certain effects and whatnot. I mean, at least demonstrate something, right? But it depends, right? I mean, you can have individuals, you could have research on things like this that I mean that try to isolate for variables. That I mean, again, I don't see a reason. I mean, if it is the case that you can't isolate variables, why would we just take an association and run with it? There are gonna be many circumstances where we're just gonna take associations and then we're gonna be wrong.
Well, I do think like if you have a bad incident in your life, yeah, it can cause depression. But being nutritionally deficient can worsen that.
I'm not arguing that you should be nutritionally deficient, but right, you're making an argument that it leads to these different types of um, like mental illnesses and whatnot, right? But if we don't have good evidence to indicate that, I wouldn't say that's true. That's kind of what I'm saying.
I mean, I know because I used to be like depressed and stuff, and I changed my diet, I changed my lifestyle, and it went away. So I know from personal experience that it works, and there's studies that also say that. But I guess it's causation, but
You mean correlation?
oh yeah, correlation.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or admin?
Well, I just want to restate what I said in the beginning about homosexuality being a demonic energy, and ancient civilizations have recognized that.
No, that's,
And
can you give me evidence
even
of
if,
that? Just because
well, you can,
societies have said that doesn't mean it's true, right? I'm asking for evidence.
well, that's the thing about spirituality. It's hard to give concrete evidence. It's
Yeah,
something,
I think that the tooth fairy causes people to be straight. Is that justified?
well, I'm not sure about your spiritual like experience, so I can't really say, oh,
I'm
you're
not sure about
lying,
your
you're lying.
spiritual experience, so I can't do that either. So where do we get from that?
I don't know. I think it's. I mean, you're just
Are
saying
these theories just as
hypotheticals.
valid?
I don't think so, because these theories have been proven again and again by different generations of people recognizing
Like
it.
a God existing?
Yeah.
What generation proved God exists?
Well, I'm not saying they proved it, but there's different generations, and even people who aren't connected in any sort of way, they come to the same conclusions. How is that possible?
Well, people have said that there were dragons throughout all of history. So there are literally different societies that are in different places around the world that have stories about dinosaurs. Do you think that dinosaurs existed? Or not dinosaurs, dragons. Sorry.
I mean, I can't disprove it. I wasn't around back then, but I'm not gonna say, oh, it's
But
completely
do you
false.
believe in dragons though?
I personally, I'm not really sure on the topic.
You're agnostic on dragons?
I guess.
Sure, right. If you're agnostic on dragons, you should be agnostic on God then, because it seems like the evidence is pretty similar.
Well, through my personal experiences, I know God is real.
Through my personal experiences, I know God is not real. Like, where do we go from there?
Well, I'd say raise your spiritual experience. Fast and
Raise
pray.
it, fast and pray.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Like a prolonged fast.
For how long?
I mean, everyone's different. It's all dependent on you.
Do I have to do it until I get delusions, and then
No.
I did enough?
Why would you get delusions from fasting?
What are you talking about? People literally get psychosis from fasting. People literally see
They're
things from
nutritionally
fasting.
deficient. They're malnourished.
There you go.
If you hallucinate while fasting, then you're malnourished, and you shouldn't be fasting.
You can hallucinate without being necessarily malnourished, but within like it depends on the sense of malnourished you're referencing, right? But the idea is that you could just feel faint, right?
Yeah, well, that's a whole different topic. Feeling faint and then hallucinating is two different things.
Yeah, doesn't that happen then? For fasting?
If you're malnourished, you can hallucinate, yeah.
I don't think it's only in that sense, but okay.
I mean, have you tried it yourself to like say it that it's certain?
I'm not saying it happens every single time. I'm just saying it does happen sometimes.
People are saying eating disorder, yet humans were not meant to eat as much as we do nowadays.
How much were we meant to eat?
Well, if we go back to hunters and gatherers, we exercise most of the day, which put our bodies into a state of ketosis, which hardly anyone nowadays ever reaches. We have two metabolic states. We can burn carbs, or we can burn ketones or fat for energy. And, back then we actually were probably more ketone dominant, fat dominant, running off of our body's fat. It's actually a more efficient energy. You actually have a 400% energy increase. You have increased focus, increased endurance. Hence, hunters and gatherers,
Can you give me
ran
one
for
source?
miles. Source on what?
What you just said.
That there's a 400% energy increase?
Yeah, you're giving me all these statistics. I'd love to hear a source.
All right, let me go get one real quick.
Give it a second, everyone. Tap that screen. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes. If you disagree, send a guest request right now. Please only send a guest request if you disagree. If you want to help get it out to more people, share the live. Let's try to get to 500 shares, everyone. By the way, everyone, again, if you want to help get it out to more people, you already know what to do. We're going to be on the main account tomorrow. You already know. It's been a week, so we're back, everyone. We're back on the main account tomorrow. I'm super excited to be. We'll just give them a second, everyone. Do an alien debate soon. We'll think about it. I don't know if we'll really get people in to do that one. That's my biggest concern there. By the way, everyone, we're going to be on until 7, maybe a bit after 7, something like that. So we'll see. We still got a while left on the live. It's only been about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So we're about halfway through or so. Again, if you like the content, follow me if you haven't already. Hearts, why? What is so wrong with you? You're like, why are you so negative? Like for after so long, you're so negative for no reason. There's really no reason. Like, what did I do? Actually, Hearts, I want to hear. What did I do? What did I do for you to troll in the comment section so much? I appreciate the hearts. Thank you so much. What did I do? I just want to hear. I'm curious. You rejected it? Rejected from what? I actually love you. It's a joke. I don't know. Tap that screen, everyone. Tap that screen. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes. You're literally spamming in my chat. Watching Parker gets me depressed. Honestly, watching Parker is not good for us. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. My bad. Yeah. That's so funny. I'll call her out. Yeah, of course. Can we do a gun debate? Maybe sometime. I don't really have a huge position on guns. That's kind of why I haven't really done that very much. It's so depressing to critically think. So real. Meg, thank you so much for the hand. I appreciate it. Thank you. Grifter Parker is emotional. So real. Yo, by the way, everyone, if you missed the other person yesterday that was like screaming and really angry for the entire time, I'm probably gonna post a good portion of it. What's up? What's the study?
Nutritional ketosis and mitohormesis.
Nutritional ketosis and mitohormesis. Okay.
It's hard to find studies that say exactly what I'm saying because it's a lot of scientific speak, and you have to really like read through it.
Potential implications for human health. Okay. Let's read the conclusion. Let's go to the conclusion real quick. Where's this at? Damn, the conclusion's pretty far down the page. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, there's a lot of reading when it comes to these subjects because it's a very complex.
Okay,
I'm not sure what's in the conclusion. I searched keywords.
Convincing arguments for a ketogenic diet to be a default treatment for diabetes are a decade old and have continued to gain support since then. Similar arguments are developing for obesity, neurodegenerative diseases, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and even aging, although the mechanisms through which a ketogenic diet may improve these conditions expand beyond mitochondrial function. The great extent to which nutritional ketosis increases reliance on mitochondrial metabolism strongly suggests that mitochondrial adaptation is an essential factor. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't really tell me what I need.
Well, there's parts in it that show energy, like how it affects your energy.
The most prominent example is the study of mitochondrial adaptations as a mechanism for the well-known anti-seizure effect of ketogenic diets. As previously discussed, the dramatic shift in energy metabolism and the subsequent increase in circulating ketones induced by a ketogenic diet can enhance mitochondrial function and endogenous antioxidant defense. The primary mechanism behind these adaptations appears to be the increased demand for fat oxidation resulting from carbohydrate restriction. However, ketones themselves have important metabolic and signaling effects that enhance mitochondrial function and endogenous antioxidant defense, implying that a well-formulated ketogenic diet should have a greater benefit than a non-ketogenic low-carbohydrate diet. Regardless of the mechanisms, the potential outcomes imply protection against chronic disease through improved mitochondrial function and, in turn, decreased potential for oxidative stress and subsequent pathology. However, further research is needed to better understand how nutritional ketosis influences mitochondrial function across different tissues and how these influences relate to human disease. Further research should also focus on future differentiation of the effects of carbohydrate restriction and the direct effects of ketones. So this just compares non-carbohydrate keto or non-ketogenic carbohydrate. Wait, hold up. Non-ketogenic low carbohydrate diets to ketogenic diets. I don't think compares non like or ones that are not just like low carbohydrate?
Well, it tells you that when you're in ketosis, you have enhanced mitochondrial production.
Comparative to that one. Comparative to non-ketogenic and low carbohydrate. Carbs are pretty
Yeah, well,
important, right? So wouldn't we need one that compares based on carbohydrates that are higher as well?
I mean, there probably is, but that's just the one I stumbled upon. It's a lot of reading. I
Yeah,
didn't want to
we'd have
keep
to
you
read
waiting.
through it.
But my point was that the body has two metabolic states. One where you're burning carbs for energy, or glucose, or sugar. One where you're burning fat or ketones. So it doesn't matter if it's a low carb diet versus a ketosis diet. You're still not in ketosis versus being in ketosis.
Okay, we'd have to look, but I don't know. So do you want to relate it back to the topic, or is there anything else you have left to say?
Honestly, I forgot where that came from, but
Yeah, me too.
I
I
just
have no fucking clue, but yeah.
want to tell people that learning about human biology and nutrition. Oh yeah, God gave us a brain to use, right? Now, people who choose to be ignorant to how their own body works, you should know how the human body works and its metabolism, its
No
different
one can know
processes.
fully how it works. That's why we specialize it in, some doctors know.
Yeah, well, I've proven many doctors wrong and gotten written apologies from doctors growing up. I actually was diagnosed with autoimmune disease at a young age and put it into remission, which is why I know so much on this topic.
You've proven many doctors wrong.
Yeah.
So do you think that doctors are not like trustworthy at all?
Well, the thing with Western medicine is they practice treatment instead of prevention because prevention doesn't make them much
They do
money.
both.
Yeah, and their prevention is horrible. For example, for people who have like heart,
What prevention is better? Let me know.
well, natural. I'm more of a holistic naturalist.
Yeah, so what
You know,
particular natural responses are better?
well, just having a good diet and lifestyle. Most people are eating
Appreciate the
bad
corky. Thank
foods.
you so much. And the Western medicine tells you to do that too. So
Yeah, well, I'm not promoting Western medicine. I'm promoting a holistic view towards it.
yeah, but Western medicine doesn't dispute that. Western medicine says eat good diet.
Yeah, but the diets they tell you to eat aren't actually good.
Oh, which diets aren't good? You mean the
Well,
ketogenic diet that we just read into isn't good?
no, it is good, but
But then
not.
why is there a study that indicates that it's good if they're only bad ones?
Well, there's different doctors have different philosophies, but for the most part, most doctors will tell you to go on a low-fat diet, to eat a ton of grains, which isn't beneficial to any ailment that you have. And if you don't like, even if you don't believe it, you
Eat a
can
bunch of grain.
test it
That
on
would just be
yourself.
a part of it.
Yeah, well, so for people who have who are developing heart disease, like high cholesterol, they'll tell you, "Oh, eat a low-fat diet." But a low-fat diet is detrimental.
It depends
And
on maybe it depends on the type of fat, and it depends on like the scenario.
well, yeah,
It depends on what you consider to be low fat. At the rates that they're telling you, it's probably not bad.
there's
I
studies
think
that,
they're probably saying low sugar, but I
well,
think
yeah,
it
low
probably
sugar would
depends on
be
the
great.
person. Like clearly speaking, men are going to require less fat within their diets than women are, as women have like a higher minimum body fat percentage that they can have, right?
Well, I think for men it's more important because it's fat plays a role with hormones. I mean, it's important for both genders, but for men especially because we have more testosterone, and fat helps a lot with that. And it's proven that even nowadays, back then compared to now, men nowadays have the testosterone levels of what would have been like a 60-year-old back then.
Can you give me evidence of that?
Yeah, let me find a study.
Yeah, for sure. You can just send DM it to me. I'm probably about to go on to the next person. It's fine. You can just DM it to me and I'll check it out.
Well, I just want to say, I hope everyone learns about nutrition, learns about the human body, because it's very important. Learn about fasting, prolonged fasting, not just intermittent. Stay healthy. Health is wealth, and you'll find your way.
I for sure appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. Have a good
No
day.
problem.
All right, everyone, we're going to go on to the next person. If you like my content, follow me. If you haven't already, tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes. Let's go on to the next person, though. Only send a guest request if you disagree. We're just looking for some debates, everyone. Just looking for some debates, y'all. What's up, Aiko? How you doing, Aiko? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, well, I'm 18 plus 1. I go by 18 plus 1. I stopped counting at 18. And so I don't actually think that being gay is wrong. I'm not here to debate that.
Oh, I'm just looking for people who want to debate,
No,
but I
I just
appreciate
wanted
you
to say
coming on.
something. I just wanted to say something that I think that
I'm just looking for
everyone should.
disagreeers, man. Thank you so much for coming on, though.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's go to the next person. Everyone, only send a request if you disagree, y'all. All right, give it a second, everyone. Okay, bye. I have class. Oh my gosh, Aiko, that's tough. Imagine on a, what is it? Is it today? Is today Thursday? That's fucking tough. I had it earlier. Okay, give it a second, everyone. Let me go to the next person. Why couldn't you say 19? I don't know. Quick maths. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, I'm 15.
You gotta be 18 plus to join the live TikTok rules.
Gosh darn it!
Okay. No, it's okay, buddy. 3 more years. 3 more years. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm in my 30s.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
I don't really want to go into the religion part, but it is unnatural.
What do you mean by natural?
Unnatural.
Yeah, what do you mean by natural, though?
Even though it exists in nature, it's not how nature is supposed to be.
Well, how do you know what nature is supposed to be?
Because nature is nature. Everything that goes on in nature, a lot of these things are a lot of anomalies, and people tend to think that because, oh, it exists in nature, that means it's quote unquote natural. Some people are born without legs, but you know that a human being is supposed to have legs. So a person born without legs, not necessarily natural. It just
You're just
occurs.
saying typical then. So you just mean
No,
it's not typical to be gay.
it's also not natural. It's not
No,
supposed to occur. So
no, but by
obviously something
natural you mean,
happened.
but supposed to is like some sort of normative claim that you're placing on it. That like relates to your preferences, right? What you mean
No.
here is that you're just relating to typical. Okay, so you could say, yeah, like typically speaking, within nature, it is the case that human beings are born with multiple limbs like that, right? But if it is the case that they are born without that, well, I mean, that's in that sense, that is something that naturally occurred, that was natural, right? It's just not typical.
Okay, a dog eating cereal, that's naturally happening, but it's not
That
natural.
doesn't happen in nature. No, that happens due to mankind.
Exactly.
That's not nature. That's
Yes.
exactly what we're
Okay.
disputing.
So if you like take a teratogen during your pregnancy, your child comes out deformed, that's not natural, even though it happened. Do you get what I'm
No,
saying?
technically, if it exists in nature and it happens within nature, it would be natural. Like deformities exist in nature, right? And they
Yes,
happen
they
within
do.
nature. So they are natural under that definition if it's just something that exists within nature.
But you cannot really say that it's natural because it happens in quote unquote nature.
That's
Because
exactly what
that's
the
not the
definition is.
nature of how things go. Those
When you
things are mutations. And I get what that you're saying that, okay, it's natural, but it's not really natural.
No, but what you mean by natural here is just like typical. That's all you mean.
Okay, fine, if you want to say that. But to me, being gay, it's not natural. I'm not going to
I
say that
mean, but
it's
it's also not
wrong.
natural under this notion to then have hazel eyes. That's not common. I have hazel eyes. Is that not natural?
Okay, well, getting into that, a lot of people would probably get offended. But blue eyes are very uncommon. but
Wait,
it is
no. Do you
natural.
think hazel eyes are not natural?
They are natural, but that's what I'm saying. That was my point. Blue eyes are even less common than hazel eyes, so people would be like, "Then what are you gonna say about blue eyes?" But,
Are
um,
blue eyes? I think blue eyes might be more common. I have to check,
it's not
but
common. It's not as common.
I don't know. How many? I think it's
Hazel
5%.
eyes exist in almost every race.
It's about 2%. So blue eyes is 8 to 10%.
It is.
Yeah, and hazel eyes is 2%.
It's a, really? I know a lot of people with hazel eyes.
Let me make sure. What percent of people have hazel eyes? What percent of people?
Yeah, somebody said green eyes. Green eyes are actually less common.
Yeah, green eyes are the least common.
Yeah.
Oh, 18% of the people in the U.S. have